This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to DBL. Thank you, David. It's Wednesday, August 18th. Happy Hump Day. I'm Tori here with Al and Jeff. Thank you. We're grateful that you're joining us. Let's get started because the war over face masks has arrived at schools across the country. Not I know, right? Not at home, if you understand what I'm talking about. The superintendent at an Austin school district said that one parent ripped a teacher's mask off her face. He said other parents yelled and verbally assaulted teachers. And in California, one parent allegedly yelled at the principal and then assaulted a teacher over mask requirements. So, how do you feel about schools and teachers becoming targets in the mask wars? Is this fair to them or to the students? I just got to say one more time to teachers out there, We are putting all of it on you all the time and not paying you appropriately. Let's just put it out there. So bravo to you if you're a teacher. Jeff, new rule with masks. You have a 2 to 4-year-old.
Yes, I shared it, maybe not on this particular show, but my kids started actually school today, preschool. They're 2 and 4.
Mazel.
And thank you. Oh, there they are. I didn't know we had the picture. This is taken this morning.
Look at them.
So
just seeing
Leighton.
Right, so he's 2 years old, you know, he's 2 years old, and we just got an email today saying starting on the 23rd, they're gonna have to wear masks from 2 all the way up to 11. So I don't know how you get a 2-year-old to wear a mask, so I'm in this case like, how are you gonna do that? The point I'm getting at is we talk about these stories with the less than 1%. Who goes up to a teacher and abuses them or rips people's masks off their face? I'm a little perturbed that my 2-year-old has to wear a mask, but I'm not assaulting anybody. I'm not storming, putting it on social media and attacking people. I don't know. We need to really refocus our energy and be like, not everybody's like this. These are very unique stories, and this isn't the norm.
And I like you saying that. I just think masks have become this like powerful symbol of a division. It's a piece of cloth that surgeons wear every day, guys. It's going to help save your lives. What do you think, Al?
I think the mask is arbitrary. I think it would have been anything.
Yeah.
I think we happen to be in COVID, but I just think to say America is divided is not really a hot television topic. But to see that people are literally willing to die and to have other people die on this hill because people are so done with each other. Where that comes from, I don't know. The fact that it's been stoked for years with the internet is clear. But at this point, I don't think if it wasn't masks, it would be seat belts. Yeah. If it wasn't seat belts, it would be the flu shot. They are going to pick something. And this is masks, and this is the one time we need them. And I don't know where we go from this because people aren't being rational.
I agree with you. Let us know about your kids and masks. Also, if you didn't know, Governor of Texas, Abbott, did come down with a positive COVID test yesterday. He is sort of against masks and went maskless to a party the night before. So we are thinking of him and hope he is well.
I'm thinking of the people that he talked to at that party.
I am as well. I am as well. Well, last night was the first night that people in New York were required to show proof of vaccination in order to go out, to eat indoors, to go to the gym, to visit a museum. Meantime, the Las Vegas Raiders are now requiring fans at their home games to show proof of vaccination.
What about proof of sobriety? Do you know what's going to be going on at those Vegas games?
It would be empty.
There's literally a conveyor belt that goes straight from the casino to. It's a cool stadium. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I drove by.
There's a conveyor belt?
Yes.
I like that.
It's in downtown Vegas. It's
I like
awesome.
being lazy and having it come to me. All right, these requirements are reportedly helping fuel black market in fake or forged vaccination cards. Speaking of which, check out these fake vaccination cards Borders agents seized after they were shipped from China. There were thousands of them, and in Chicago, a pharmacist has been charged with selling real vaccination cards on eBay that were allegedly stolen from his work. This is obviously so stupid and annoying, but my question to you also is, why not make the vaccination cards harder to forge?
They're going to do it anyway, no matter what you do.
I guess, but it seems like an incredibly easy thing, right? Like there's not even a stamp.
It does, but it's just
there's not even a holographic.
It's just giving you like another hurdle, right? I don't know if it's necessarily supposed to stop people. It's just another hump in the road. Like, hey, we want you to vaccinate. Now you got to bring a card. It's almost like a pain. It's not even like, go ahead and if you want to take the time to forge this, go ahead. Some of you are going to get caught, but most of you, like we do every day, speed on the roads. Once in a while, you're going to get caught.
But when you speed on the roads, you're not contagious to me.
No. I'm not saying. I'm not comparing it to that. But I'm saying I don't think this is meant to stop people. I think it's just to be like, listen, I'm going to make your life a little bit harder.
But why aren't we making it a lot harder?
Right.
Because if you're in a place with your family, Jeff, and let's say some of your older family, and you're in a place where you had to show a card.
You would feel comfortable.
You feel comfortable. You're like, Jordan, take your mask off. And then there's somebody that's snuck in there that is not vaccinated but presented a fake card, and they get you in a vulnerable state because you are unmasked, because you are assuming when you walk into this bar that everybody is of a certain vaccination level, and somebody got sick. Now that bar's in trouble because you can sue.
But again, I don't want to talk percentages because I don't know. We don't know. What is the percentage of people getting fake vaccinations?
Well, I think it's going to go up and up and up.
I know, but it's like, what are the people that are child molesters around you, right? Like you're going to be in a bar with a child molester.
Child molester's not
we're calling out like the 1% of people.
Well,
I promise you, I don't know anybody that knows anybody in my life that's like, hey, they got a fake vaccine card.
You will.
Well, only 50%. Only 50% of people got vaccinated, right?
Correct.
As a country. So
maybe you're right. I'm trying to
understand.
To flip this,
because the people in your circle, I think that's the thing. No matter what your political affiliation is, or like most of the people in your house are probably Bears fans when they come over. That's the issue. It's like you're around people.
You need actually a card to say you're a Bears fan to come in.
You're around people that are kind of like you, so you might go, I don't know anybody that's not vaccinated. Where a lot of people go, I only know one person that is.
I know people aren't vaccinated, but I don't know people that would go to the trouble to get a fake vaccine
You will,
card.
and
I guess you're right.
It'll pass. And let me just say something. I know in Europe at least, Brandon London, our co-host, had said it's on their phone like a QR code. I'm just hoping it gets digitized so it's not like number 2 pencil and an eraser, which it feels like a little bit. Someone wrote, how much of an idiot do you have to spend $400 for a fake vaccine card when you can get a real vax for free, which I think is a good point. Very good point. Well, coming up on DBL, an all-new true crime chronicles. A daughter is convinced police got the wrong man in her mother's murder. How she's still searching for answers 30 years later. And this is my favorite story. This story behind a note on a woman's first date was given by a stranger. Why did the fellow diner feel the need to warn her, and what would you do?
Closed captioning provided by
Hi, DBL Nation. Happy Wednesday. It's Kelly Schuberth here with Jeff. Jeff, how's it going?
You're very colorful today, and I've been talking to you for 2 hours and just noticed.
Very bright.
Can we open, Tiffany, I want to say something really quick. Little shout out if you can. We just had delicious burritos at a burrito tuck from Los Cocinas. Lisa's Cocinas.
Cucina?
Cocina.
Sophia taught us how to say it.
It's not Cocina, that's Italian.
Yeah.
Cocina is Spanish.
Yeah, she taught us that. I always thought it was
Anyway,
Cocina,
delicious
too.
if you're in the Denver metropolitan area. Lily's Cocina.
All right, great.
Great advertisement.
And where is it located?
In Denver.
Great.
Downtown Denver. And it's
She has no
it's
idea.
by the
Travels
roads
all
and the
around.
streets.
Tori, we
this
have
area.
a substitute art teacher with us. What were you saying? I'm going to be filling in from...
Mrs. Rob made fun of this shirt too, so I'd say it's not a winner.
No, it's definitely a winner.
Is this not her personality?
I wasn't doing that to make. I just noticed it right now. I was like, wow.
It is very bright. It's quite,
You know
it's quite
why?
bright.
Because like you guys are both wearing black or
Art
dark colors.
teacher,
and when
you
came out-
nailed it though. It does look like an art teacher would wear.
You could be a substitute teacher
Oh, I totally could
because you're
be.
like so cheery. Like
I could never be a teacher, but I could be a substitute, maybe.
and like, hey, shut up, and you're like, hey, don't worry back there.
But you know, but Kelly,
That teacher
she
stinks.
she's not a pushover either. She's that weird combination where she's super
Yeah.
sweet.
If you push it too
Yeah,
far.
she's not a pushover though, Kelly.
No, you're right. You're right.
That South's gonna come out.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, Jeff, how is Big Brother this season? Our viewers wanted to talk about Big Brother a little bit.
Oh, well, I'm.
I find
catching
it
up.
very boring, to be honest.
I'm actually a little behind myself. We've had a lot of trips and vacations in between, so I'm a little behind. But
What would it take for you to?
yeah, let me gather my thoughts and I'll let you guys
We'll talk
know.
about it in the next break, guys, during Access.
No, I mean like next week.
Okay, well, next week.
Welcome back to DBL. You will never guess what a woman who was on a first date got from a random stranger. I'm so into this story. Cool. Thanks, guys. It was a note written on a CVS receipt that reads, "Too many red flags. Run. Be safe, girl." The woman tweeted the picture saying it was given to her by a gay man sitting behind her. She also said she noticed the red flags too, but didn't feel like she was in any danger. So I want 2 questions from you guys. A, what would you do if you received this note on a date? And two, what would it take for you to write a note to someone else?
Very quickly, I have a question for you as well. Why are CVS receipts so long?
They're so long.
Just to put that in.
Like a scroll.
It's
Right, let's just put
like a
let's-
papyrus
I don't want to
scroll.
get away from the story, but
Too
they're way
long.
too long.
They're too long.
We could save a bunch of trees.
A lot of trees.
Right.
Go
So,
ahead, Al.
let's get back.
Al, what would it take for you to write a note? Like, if you saw something happening, what would be the red flag? Would that person be rude to the waiter? You don't like when that is happening.
Can we be honest?
Yeah.
This like pre-Al, old school Al, depends on two things. How many drinks I've had, how cute they are. All right? If you're an 8.5 or above, it could be, you could put a gigantic red flag on there. I'd just move it out the way and be like, what you want to do next? Yeah, so honestly, the fact that two people like notice red flags.
I'm not really picking up what you're throwing down. Are you the guy at dinner, or are you the guy
he's on
writing
the
the
date.
notes?
I'm saying if somebody wrote that note to me, if
He's
she's
on the
real
date.
cute and I've had a couple drinks,
Right.
I ain't
It doesn't
going nowhere.
matter.
You're just staying?
The red flags
Yeah.
are like, go
do you
Al,
say
go
something to the
Al.
other guy who wrote that note?
Mind your business.
No, that's good. What are you supposed to say?
What about you? Would you A, write that note, and what would it take for you to write it, and what if you got a note like that?
Is this a bad comment? I'm looking at Michael D.
Great, we're gonna do it on air. Let's talk about it.
I know, I probably shouldn't, right? I probably shouldn't. But knowing that the guy, I don't know if she knew or not, was gay and gave me that note, it would hold more substance than if some random guy's like, hey, buddy, here's a note. I'd be like, who's this weirdo?
Right.
You know what I mean?
No,
For some
yeah.
sort of, I'd be like, uh-oh, something's going on here.
There's an intuition.
Is that degrading in some way? Okay,
No,
good, I'm okay.
And I do want to say something about that. One of the red flags happened to be the two of them were arguing over the latest in DaBaby, which is a rapper. He made some really homophobic remarks at a concert. He's been somewhat canceled, taken off of other concerts. They didn't see eye to eye on that, and that flared a little ear prick from the guy behind saying, I'm not comfortable with this. Boom. And I agree with you. I would listen.
Well, let me ask, we're two guys over here, and obviously we do have some physicality in terms of like being able to fight up. But if somebody sends you a note like that, your physical as well as your mental health could be in danger. So what do you do in that situation?
Well, A, I super appreciate it. It may be different for you guys because you're like, get out of my way, because it's like blocking you. For a woman, any type of help or heads up or a red flag or a wink wink or I got you, do you want to come over to my car is really helpful. It can save you. Two, if I don't agree, I'll throw it out, but it's always going to be seen as a positive. And then three, I would write that note.
I feel like
I would write that note, and mostly if that girl
You
goes.
totally would
I would,
write that
and
note.
here's why. If
And
the
I would
person,
totally throw it away.
I know you would throw it away. If the person went to the bathroom and I heard them talking meanly about
Yeah,
them, or they were rude to the waiter or staff, I would write that
But
note.
here's, oh, sorry, man. We got it, like, we're running out of time. But to intrude on someone else's political beliefs, whatever
Agreed.
it may be, and then intrude because you don't believe that could have been your future husband, and now he gone.
But he heard she disagree with him too.
But I
Right,
think
but
we're
because
talking
you
about
guys-
social. I
Right.
thought we were talking about like we felt like this girl was in physical
No,
danger, like
no.
do not get in the car.
No.
Not this guy's a jerk, potentially.
No, it was more like I see red flags, not like they're in danger.
Okay.
The story it gets a little deep.
I don't know
It
if you need to
is.
run. I would just leave a note like you can do better.
Interesting. Nice. Okay, compromise. Coming up on DBL, a daughter seeks answers in her mother's murder. This is 30 years later. Was the wrong person arrested? That's in today's True Crime Chronicles, and it's coming up next.
These images and videos have surfaced recently. They claim to show scenes from the Taliban's rush to seize power in Afghanistan, but not all of them are connected to current events. So let's walk through what's real and what's not. Our sources include InVid, a video forensics tool, RevEye, a reverse image search tool, Google Maps, the United States Air Force, and Pacific Air Forces. This video was shared across Facebook more than 60,000 times. The post claims it was taken in Kabul, the capital of Afghanistan, and shows the Taliban taking over the presidential palace. But our sources show that is false. Using InVid, Verify isolated frames and was able to confirm the footage was actually taken in the Syrian city of Idlib. We know that because the same footage can be seen at 1 minute and 15 seconds into this YouTube video. And that footage was taken in 2015 amid unrest in Syria. So we can verify this as false. The video was not taken in Kabul. Next up, there's a lot of confusion about these two photos, both posted to Twitter. Both photos claim to show people being airlifted from a Kabul airport, but our sources say that's not true. So let's clear this up. On Sunday, during the rush to evacuate people from Afghanistan, a U.S. military cargo plane did transport around 640 Afghan citizens to Qatar. That's what you see in this photo on the right, taken by U.S. Air Force. But Verify used RevEye and found the photo on the left isn't from Kabul. We tracked that picture back to Pacific Air Force's website. PACAF is a U.S. Air Force Major Command Center headquartered in Hawaii. The site confirms this picture was actually taken in the Philippines on November 17, 2013, and shows people being evacuated to Manila following Super Typhoon Haiyan. So we can verify. The photo on the right is from Kabul, but the photo on the left is not. With your Verify, I'm Ariane Till.
Welcome back to DBL. Who really killed Effie Antazari? It's been more than 30 years since she was murdered, and her daughter is on a quest to find out once and for all who would want to kill her mother. That's in today's True Crime Chronicles.
She had a life, and someone took that away.
Pune Gray will never forget May 1st, 1989. Her life would forever be altered in ways she would never have imagined.
There has not been one day that's gone by since my mom's murder that I haven't thought about her and this case.
Pune's mother, Effie Antazari, left for work like she had done so many mornings before. It was just before 6 a.m. She was approached by someone in the parking lot and shot in the head at point-blank range. A neighbor reported seeing a yellow car speed out of the parking lot shortly after Effie's murder. No other witnesses reported anything to the authorities.
This was a premeditated, highly calculating homicide.
A man was arrested and charged with the murder of Effie. That man just happened to be Mike Antazari, Effie's husband and Pune's father. Mike and Effie were going through a divorce. Mike had no alibi, and worse yet, a gun, the same type of gun that killed Effie, was found in Mike's car. A jury found him guilty of the murder of his wife. He ended up serving 16 years of a 25-year sentence behind bars until his death in 2019. Mike had always maintained his innocence.
It was not a fact-based trial. It was just a lot of smoke and mirrors.
Pune hired a team of lawyers, private investigators, forensic examiners in an attempt to find the real killer or killers. She will never stop fighting for justice and exonerating her father. Pune wants to know once and for all who killed Effie Antazari. They point to a lack of physical evidence against Mike Antazari. Mike didn't drive a yellow car like the one seen speeding away from the scene, and investigators never found evidence of Effie's blood on Mike's clothing or in the barrel of his gun. Pune believes one of the biggest pieces of evidence that could alter this case is DNA. Samples found on Effie's clothes years after her murder, thanks to DNA advancements.
There was a mixture. There were multiple individuals' DNA on the sweater and the DNA that was collected. The predominant DNA that we found is from the person who we believe is the shooter.
Will this new DNA evidence be the smoking gun of this case 32 years later? Will Pune be able to overturn her father's conviction and keep the promise she made to her mother? Will there ever be closure?
I've never had a doubt that I'm going to get the person that killed my mom.
A daughter's love for her mother knows no bounds. This story is truly heartbreaking. Earlier, Alan Sam spoke with podcast host Ashley Korslin for the latest on this case. Take a look. And we are here with the Yellow Card podcast host, Ashley Korslin. Ashley, by the way, is also an award-winning journalist and longtime KGW anchor. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to DBL.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to be here to talk about the case.
Why did you think that this was a good topic, that this case specifically would be a good fit for your podcast?
Well, the case itself is compelling, but honestly, I would say it was Pune, the couple's daughter, at the center of this case. We are talking about someone who spent 32 years of her own life working on her mom's murder investigation, despite the fact that her dad went to prison. And the fact that she has spent more than $1 million, close to $2 million at this point, on a team of lawyers and investigators, to me was really compelling. And I thought, you know, there must be something else here if she hasn't been able to let this go 3 decades later.
Wow. Right. Well, speaking about 3 decades later, if this same case happened today, what do you think would happen?
I would think at the very least, the investigation perhaps would have been done differently when you think about advancements in DNA technology that we have today that we didn't have. Back in 1989, DNA was in its infancy. Today, there would also be a lot of things done differently, I believe, with ballistics and how they examine and compare an evidence bullet to a gun. Now, as for the verdict and the outcome, it's hard to say what the evidence would have shown and whether a jury still would have convicted Mike.
Speaking of Mike Antazari, why was he found guilty?
I believe came down to the ballistics portion. When you have a state ballistics expert saying this bullet was fired from this gun, Mike's gun, to me, that's what really sealed the deal for the jury.
Panay found some strange occurrences leading up to her mother's death. You know, maybe that's why she hasn't been able to let this go. So can you tell our audience, what were they?
Yeah, so when Effie and Mike were separated, Effie had lived in her own apartment complex at the time of her death, and neighbors had eventually reported to police that there were some really strange occurrences, fights in her apartment at odd hours of the night, unknown men who were there. Effie seemed upset. The most striking thing was perhaps the medical examiner, when they did the autopsy, found bruising all over Effie's body, and the bruising had been there for some time, so that meant it was unrelated to the murder. Things that you couldn't really explain, and Mike was never tied to any of that activity. The daughter, Panay, goes, look, my mom was being threatened. Somebody wanted to silence her. She knew something, and people were hurting her. And that's the thread line throughout this series that really kept her going, is that there were just too many strange things happening to just explain away that my dad killed my mom.
Wow, Ashley, I just pray that your podcast, her and her 3 decades worth of research, somehow provides answers for her. How likely is it that prosecutors will reopen this case?
The sheriff's office did confirm to me they do have a detective actively working this case. So that to me was a little peek behind the curtain on, okay, they're looking into this. It's not like they're just brushing it off. I think at this point, they're not able to speak publicly about what they have discovered and what they're going to do moving forward.
Wow. Unbelievable. I really do hope that they reopen the case, just personally. Ashley, thank you so much for being on DBL's True Crime Chronicles and for bringing this case to light. You can check out DBL Nation, The Yellow Car, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever else you get your podcasts. Make sure that you listen. And thank you again, Ashley. We'll be right back.
Thanks, you guys, for having me. Appreciate it.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
The Verify team is here to make sure that you're only getting the facts when it comes to the recent events in Afghanistan. Take posts like this. The U.S. funded, trained, and armed Taliban to fight the Soviets, wrote one person. So let's verify. Did the U.S. government directly fund the Taliban? Here are our sources. Benjamin Hopkins, a professor of history at the George Washington University. Charles Dunbar, a retired ambassador who worked in Afghanistan in the 80s for the State Department. Mike Lyons, a military analyst. And this report from the Congressional Research Service.
There are linkages, but it's not a direct line.
According to Hopkins, in December of 1979, the Soviet Union sent troops to Afghanistan to protect a communist government. Those troops remained in the country for a decade. Hopkins says that in response, the CIA began sending money through the Pakistani government to the Mujahideen, a group of Islamic militants that were fighting the Soviets. It was deemed Operation Cyclone.
That Operation Cyclone started out very small until finally to the point where it was literally billions and billions of dollars.
This was confirmed by a Congressional Research Service report stating that a total of about $3 billion was given to the Mujahideen from 1980 to 1989, according to the State Department. So how does the Taliban play into all this? Well, according to our experts, the group first began to form in 1994, so money never went directly to the Taliban.
There is a story of Americans arming an anti-Soviet insurgency, some of whom then go on to become part of what will be the Taliban.
Some U.S. funds went to supporting the Mujahideen, who had generally the same point of view as the Taliban.
But any sort of direct linkage, U.S. arming the Mujahideen in the 1980s supports the Taliban in the 2000s, is incorrect.
So we can verify that false. The U.S. government never directly funded the Taliban, but they did support the Mujahideen fighters in the 1980s. With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozlov.
Welcome back to DBL. Did you know your vaccine status could affect your income? We're chatting about it on today's Bang for Your Buck presented by The Hartford. To cover health costs, more and more companies are considering charging higher insurance premiums for their unvaccinated staff. This means your employer could pocket an extra $50 per paycheck if you're unvaccinated. That's an extra $1,300 each year. This is one of the many reasons why you should talk to your doctor about getting vaccinated against COVID-19. And for quality and affordable insurance, the Buck's got your back. The Hartford will be happy to provide you solutions. Call the Hartford at 1-800-684-6085 or visit thehartford.com to learn more. Interesting. Good to know. Someone wrote in, I just want to say, Sharon Fisher, thank you. She says, my take on fake vaccines. Anyone caught, $10,000 fine, 6 months in jail. If I had it my way, $25,000 fine, 1 year in prison. Very strong.
Nice,
well, that's contagious. She's worried. DBL's new every day. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Flummoxed, confused, perplexed. There's a saying for what we're feeling. It's all Greek to me. But when it comes to variants, Greek needn't bewilder. Why? Because we no longer have to call this variant B.1.1.7 or this one B.1.617.2. We can just call this Alpha and this one Delta. Yep, just like in the Greek alphabet. Alpha, Beta, Gamma, Delta. Each is what the CDC calls a variant of concern. Alpha first showed up in the United Kingdom, Beta in South Africa, Gamma in Brazil, and Delta in India. Let's talk that one. Why? Because we know it's very contagious. Consider what's known as an R0, or average number of unprotected people a virus typically infects. Seasonal influenza, remember that? The CDC says it generally has an R0 of 1. Basically, every person who gets it will typically infect one other person. The original version of SARS-CoV-2, aka the virus that causes COVID-19, had an R0 of 1.5 to 3, according to the CDC. Infectious, yes, as infectious as, let's say, the swine flu. But as SARS-CoV-2 infected millions, it evolved, mutated. Some mutations were inconsequential, some were not. Case in point, the mutations that led to the Delta variant. Smallpox is very contagious. It has an R0 of around 5. The Delta variant of SARS-CoV-2, anywhere between 5 and 9. That's almost in chickenpox territory. And remember, COVID is more deadly than that. Then there's measles, one of the most contagious viruses on the planet. It has an R0 of around 12. Good thing is, we rarely have measles outbreaks in the U.S. Why? You know why. Back to Delta. Maybe this still is, as we say, all Greek to you.
but we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
The debate over masks in schools is heating up as parents are outraged over their district's decisions. Are the kids just stuck in the middle? A woman gets stunned on a first date when a stranger passes her a note. Why did he tell her to run? In today's True Crime Chronicles, a daughter seeks answers in her mother's murder 30 years later.
There has not been one day that's gone by since my mom's murder that I haven't thought about her and this case.
Was the wrong person arrested? And is Kim Cattrall throwing major shade at Sarah Jessica Parker? The reason fans are freaking out right now.
Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
Welcome to DBL. It is Wednesday, August 18th. I'm Sam here with Al, Jeff, and Tori. Let's get started. Wow, the war over face masks has arrived at schools across the country. Now, the superintendent at an Austin school district said that one parent ripped a teacher's mask off her face. He said other parents yelled and verbally assaulted teachers. And in California, one parent allegedly yelled at the principal and then assaulted a teacher over mask requirements. All right, so DBL Nation, we got to hear from you on this. How do you feel about schools and teachers becoming targets in the mask wars? Is this fair, Tori, to teachers and students? Nothing is ever fair to teachers. We make teachers do everything. Now they're getting assaulted over masks because they want to save their lives. This is so silly. So to any teacher out there, you're not getting paid enough, and I'm just sorry that we make you like take down a gun shooter and also have to protect yourself against like masks, assaulters. All of this is stupid. Masks have become politicized. They're a piece of cloth. They save lives. There's no reason for it. Republican or Democrat, in 1918, we all wore masks because of the Spanish flu. We don't have the Spanish flu anymore. Here's a picture of the cops wearing it in 1918. It would say, wear your gauze or go to jail. This isn't new. This isn't rocket science. It's actually the most basic form of protection. So I'm sorry that we're going to have to continue with masks, but let's not get violent. I mean, really.
I think when we talk about these stories, we have to understand the percentages we're talking about, and it's less than 1% of insane people that do something like this. I'm vaccinated. I don't know if I have to preface that. I think I do nowadays. But my kids, their first day of preschool was today, and we just got an email. I remember there they are this morning.
Oh.
And I remember I was talking about this maybe earlier this week or late last week about that they didn't have to wear masks. We just got an email this morning saying starting on August 23rd, they will now have to wear masks from 2 years old to 11 years old. That means my youngest, who's 2, has to wear a mask. I'm not happy about that. I don't think he needs to wear a mask. I believe it might stunt him some way, even though we had Dr. Coley on who told, I have my own concerns. At no point through my thought process that I feel like I needed to go to the school and rip a teacher's mask off of her face.
Yeah.
That's insanity.
Al, you were a teacher.
Yes.
What would you have done if this happened when you were teaching?
You know, people wouldn't come for me like that, but I think that people come for the teachers that they know that they can because they know that there's not going to be any repercussions. We can yell at teachers. I was disrespected multiple times at parent-teacher conferences, and it's just a thing in our society where we say that we love our teachers, we say that we love our frontline workers, but remember, as soon as something went down, what did we see? Clips of Pizza Hut employees getting yelled at, clips of Target employees getting yelled at. We tend to put these people on a pedestal, but it's not real because as soon as something goes wrong, those are the first people we go after.
Yeah.
I really quickly just want to go back to you because we have new information from the CDC saying that protection against COVID from vaccines has declined. Therefore, we all are going to need a booster. So does that make you want your kids to mask up even more, that protection's declined?
It's not even about the mask so much. It's just about how do you get a 2-year-old to put that on, right? I'm not talking about what we need in the future as adults. I'm just, how do you put a 2-year-old in a mask? That's my problem. Going back to your question, I have no problem with the boost. Do I have questions before I get it? Or do I need some answers? Have Dr. Coley up here? Of course. But a rational conversation, not insanity to the point where I'm stapling things to a piece of wood and running around the neighborhood instead of going to work.
Got it.
Got it.
I totally think that your point is valid.
Yeah,
you can disagree without going and abusing a teacher.
Yeah.
I'm with you. All right, so last night was the first night that people in New York City were required to show proof of vaccination in order to go out to eat indoors, go to the gym, or visit a museum. Meantime, the Las Vegas Raiders are now requiring fans at their home games to show proof of vaccination. So these requirements are reportedly helping fuel a black market, of course, in fake or forged vaccination cards. Speaking of which, check out these fake vaccination cards that border agents seized after they were shipped from China. There were thousands of them. And in Chicago, a pharmacist has been charged with selling real vaccination cards on eBay that were allegedly stolen from his work. Tori, you were just shaking your head.
I'm very concerned about this, because I don't think the vaccination cards are that hard to fake. First off, I thought we'd have a holographic something, an inner code or digitize something. I feel like it's a number 2 pencil and like a piece of napkin that we have. So one, I'd love to see an updated vaccination card. And number 2, it's not just silly that they're getting the vaccination cards. Al said it well, too, and I want you to go back. If you feel like you're in a place where everyone's vaccinated and you feel okay to take your mask off and you're lying, you're actually assaulting me with a deadly weapon. Because if you're carrying that, you could spread that to everyone. There needs to be an enormous penalty or a fine for that, because it isn't just, oh, it's a fake ID card. A fake ID card isn't contagious. You are. That's a different story.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I lived in Florida, there was a famous case where this gentleman successfully sued a bar that he was at because they allowed an underage girl to go in there. They had consensual sex, and he was then brought up on statutory rape charges. But his defense was, I'm assuming that everybody in here is 21 because that's what that's what you have to do to get in here. So now we're not only talking about people that are liable in terms of their health, but also businesses. And really, let's be honest, this is a capitalistic society, and that's what people unfortunately really care about. So we're going to have businesses that are going to be really cracking down on this, as well as people.
But to the flip side today, I was watching the news, and I forgot if it was in New York or Louisiana. I forget which one. But they were putting this on the restaurant owners to enforce this, right? And the business owners were saying, I don't know about these cards. I don't know what's real or not. I know how to make a pizza or make pasta. I can't enforce this. This isn't my job, right? So how are we putting this job on restaurant and business owners?
It's going to be bumpy in the beginning. It's new.
Bumpy? How is that going to ever iron out? It's never going to ever iron out.
It will. It'll be on a QR code on your phone at some point. That's what in Amsterdam it already is.
What about people that don't use QR codes on their phone?
Yeah,
I can imagine trying to explain to my late father what a QR code is and how to download it on his phone.
We went to dinner with my father-in-law, and he goes, here's your menu, and it was a QR code, and he goes, what, are you kidding?
Yeah. I just experienced that last night, but I don't want to shame the person that I went to dinner with. All right, speaking of the vaccine, the Pope is encouraging everyone to get vaccinated. Can you believe it? In a newly released video, Pope Francis said, quote, being vaccinated is an act of love. He also called it a moral obligation to get the shot. Jeff, do you think that people are going to listen to religious leaders? You do.
I think they do. I think they listen to any leaders, not just religious. I think they listen to their favorite pop star, their favorite movie star. That's why people come out and say, vote for my guy, right? Because people listen. Unfortunately, people out there, and they can't formulate their own opinion. Let's just be honest. They cannot. So if somebody that they look up to, that they've known their whole life and believe in and trust, their word is the gospel.
I must say, I'm not Catholic, but I know the amount of presence and what his reputation and platform gives, bless you. But I will tell you this will save millions of lives, because some Catholics are concerned about where the Pope fell on this, because he said, okay, millions of lives saved. Honestly, this is a big, big deal.
You missed the correlation between the Pope and then you said, bless you.
Oh,
you know what I mean? You missed it. You dropped it.
I'm Jewish. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Coming up on DBL, if you missed this interview when we aired it during the summer games, don't worry, we have an encore presentation today. We talked with a woman who tells us what it's like living inside the Tower of London. Is it really haunted? And Kim Cattrall's latest Instagram post has fans wondering if she's throwing some subtle shade. Was it really a dig at Sarah Jessica Parker? Plus, the story behind this note. A woman on a first date was given by a stranger. Why did the fellow diner feel the need to warn her?
Closed captioning provided by
Tiffany's still catching on to our humor.
All right, so we are introducing Tiffany, just so you know, to Jeff and I's humor as we make fun of each other. Many people who are new are like, are they really hating on each other? I don't know and I'm uncomfortable. So that's where we left Tiffany. We apologize, the camerawoman. Are you doing okay? Okay, not the camera. There we go. Okay.
I can't believe you missed the bless you joke.
I can't believe that either.
It was like right there.
Can I be honest?
But I didn't know why you laughed.
Me?
The bless you joke.
Because she's like, oh, the Pope, and then you said bless you, and I was like, she's going there.
You don't
and
understand.
she missed it.
Are you surprised the Pope did it? 1 to 10, how surprised are you the Pope did it?
No, I don't. I
That's
think
a pretty big step, you guys.
Well,
for
listen,
the Pope
I don't.
to do.
This is why I'm not surprised. I think the Pope genuinely has people's
Good
health
interest,
and
yes.
good interest, and I don't think he has a political agenda when he says that, even though people will attach a political agenda to what he's saying. I think the Pope wants the best for people, and if it means wearing a mask, if that helps not spread the disease in some sort of way, I think he's for helping people.
I'm glad
I don't
he's
think there's a
about that.
political
The Pope has
attachment to
mass.
it.
Yeah.
That's a massive amount of people.
Enormous.
Right, and I think he wants the best, and I
Right.
think that's a way, maybe not 100%, but it does protect you in some sort of way.
He does. Someone wrote us, and I want to get to the comments you guys said. Singing Mary wrote, I will say in regards to the masks in the public school setting, it has made it close to impossible to run a music program because no singing, there's no instruments, and only in place movement. I didn't think about that. So it takes out an enormous amount of parts of the arts and crafts of the school, which is, I think, an enormous and imperative part of learning and education.
Would you like it in some way, because you said you're kind of like insecure, like going to school and growing up. Does the mask on your first day of school kind of help that first day?
Sometimes that mask I like. I like the mask because when I get shy or insecure, and some people say this, you get to hide.
You should have more of a bag.
You see Tiffany's like, get us out of here.
See you about that.
Welcome back to DBL. You'll never guess what a woman who was on a date got what she got from a random stranger. So it was a note written on a CVS receipt, or maybe one of those really long, like, printouts
The
that come out.
longest ever.
Right, you could write a story on those. Well, anyways, the note reads, "Too many red flags, run, be safe, girl." The woman tweeted the picture saying it was given to her by a gay man sitting behind her. She also said she noticed the red flags too, but didn't feel like she was in danger. Ooh, have you ever passed a note if you were, Tori, worried about someone on a date?
No, but I 100% would. And here's the two things I would do. One, if I really did think this guy or girl was causing danger, I would say something or slip a note. I'm someone that, as a woman, I would take help from anyone. If someone's giving you a nod and in a parking lot, come with me, I'll walk you to your car. I'll take any help. It's scary out there. But two, if they talk badly about the person when they go to the bathroom, or if they're rude to the waiter, I would just be like, heads up, not my type. That's how I would do it. I know I'm pushy. I'm a little bit Jewy in your face about it. I know that, a little nosy, but I want to help a person out.
If someone was rude to the waiter and they went to the bathroom, you would intrude on that date and say, hey.
I know, if they were rude to the waiter and then they went to the bathroom, I'd look over, and I'd be like, mm-mm.
What if
you're rude to the waiter, 6 months, that's how you're treating the partner.
Does it matter, Jeff, that this was a coffee date?
She so would not do that.
I bet she would.
I think she would.
Does it matter that this was a coffee date, not a dinner date? Because dinner dates are
That's
late
a good
at
question.
night. This is during the day. There's a lot of people around. Does that factor in or no?
No, but you know what does factor in? And I checked with Michael Dean on the side. Coming from a gay man and coming from a straight man are two different things. If a straight man goes to me, hey, watch out for this, it'd be like, Tori, tell me, who's this crazy person behind me? And then if a gay man told me, I'd be like, it just carries more weight with me. I'd be like, huh.
Well, you know that he doesn't have
He's
any,
onto
like,
something there.
Yeah, he doesn't have any skin in the game.
No agenda, no
but,
agenda.
you know, I do, and I have, you know, it's interesting, Sam, when everybody's talking, I thought about a situation, I'm not going to say the country, but some of my buddies were on a bus on an island nation.
Oh.
And we were like, let's get away from the resorts. We don't want to be these tourists. Let's go see the people. And we're on the bus, and we're about to get off at the stop, and the bus driver goes, if you get off the bus, they're going to slit your throat. Like, said it, like, to me and my boys, and we were like, sat right back down and took our American American behinds right back to the right. Yeah,
That's
but
a
it's
good
like
lookout.
we listened.
Right.
You know?
Did you guys know what their conversation was?
Yeah, something about DaBaby.
Yes. The two were loudly disagreeing about DaBaby. If you guys remember DaBaby, what he said, he had a homophobic rant about AIDS, and it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Not only the inaccuracy of it, but how it came off homophobic. So they were debating whether or not that was homophobic or not.
Ooh.
How does that come up on a first date?
Yeah.
You should be like, hey, do you have any brothers? Yeah.
What's it say? No,
What?
give
What are
it
you
to me.
talking about?
What does it say?
No, it doesn't say
Read
anything.
It. What does it
Okay,
say?
Sam, you read it.
What does it say?
What?
It says the girl at the end of the table, not this side, right? That side? Good. At the end of the table is insane. Be safe.
Who wrote that?
I'm going.
And now she's leaving.
I'm out of here.
Bye, Tori. We love you.
Hey, the waiter was mean. Break up with that guy.
Coming up on DBL, a story you may have missed when we aired it during the summer games. A college student tells us all about what it's like living in the Tower of London. Can you imagine?
Wow.
How did she score a spot in a castle?
These images and videos have surfaced recently. They claim to show scenes from the Taliban's rush to seize power in Afghanistan, but not all of them are connected to current events. So let's walk through what's real and what's not. Our sources include InVid, a video forensics tool, RevEye, a reverse image search tool, Google Maps, the United States Air Force, and Pacific Air Forces. This video was shared across Facebook more than 60,000 times. The post claims it was taken in Kabul, the capital of Afghanistan, and shows the Taliban taking over the presidential palace. But our sources show that is false. Using InVid, Verify isolated frames and was able to confirm the footage was actually taken in the Syrian city of Idlib. We know that because the same footage can be seen at 1 minute and 15 seconds into this YouTube video. And that footage was taken in 2015 amid unrest in Syria. So we can verify this as false. The video was not taken in Kabul. Next up, there's a lot of confusion about these two photos, both posted to Twitter. Both photos claim to show people being airlifted from a Kabul airport, but our sources say that's not true. So let's clear this up. On Sunday, during the rush to evacuate people from Afghanistan, a U.S. military cargo plane did transport around 640 Afghan citizens to Qatar. That's what you see in this photo on the right, taken by U.S. Air Force. But Verify used RevEye and found the photo on the left isn't from Kabul. We tracked that picture back to Pacific Air Force's website. PACAF is a U.S. Air Force Major Command Center headquartered in Hawaii. The site confirms this picture was actually taken in the Philippines on November 17, 2013, and shows people being evacuated to Manila following Super Typhoon Haiyan. So we can verify. The photo on the right is from Kabul, but the photo on the left is not. With your Verify, I'm Ariane Till.
Welcome back to DBL. In some ways, 21-year-old Megan Clausen is living the life of a medieval princess. She and her dad live inside the historic Tower of London. You may have missed this story when it aired during the summer games, so here is an encore look at Megan's life in a castle. Megan Clausen is bringing some unusual British history to life. She's been living in the Tower of London for a year with her dad, who is a beef eater or tower guard. The 13th century fortress was once a castle, a prison, and is now home to the famous crown jewels. It's also notorious for the beheading of Anne Boleyn, King Henry VIII's second wife. But Megan likes to focus on some of the lesser known facts of the tower's history.
The tale that I am about to tell is considered one of the goriest in the history of the Tower of London.
Her videos on TikTok have earned her 30,000 followers who love seeing what her life living in a tourist attraction is really like.
It's a real privilege to live inside the Tower of London until you realise that you're also part of the attraction and you have a lovely audience for most of the day.
Megan, welcome to DBL. So this is fascinating. My husband and I visited the Tower of London. It was one of our most memorable experiences. I can't believe that you live there. So how much of the tower's history did you know before you actually moved in with your dad, who's a guard there?
I thought when he said, oh, I'll be living in the Tower of London, I thought he meant he was going to be living in Tower Bridge. Really had no clue what I was letting myself in for, really.
the tower is heavily guarded, and that's kind of a question I have. So, like, what restrictions are there for you? Like, what can and can you not do?
There's always a beefeater on guard, so if you want to leave after a certain time, you have to sign out and things like that. And to be let in, again, you need to have told somebody beforehand, so everybody knows where you are at what time and what you're wearing and everything. So it's
sneaking out.
I was going to say, so let's keep it 100. That's what we do on this show. How does this affect your dating life? Because I know it's got to be hard to tell people, like, hey, you need to sign in with this guard.
You date a beefeater.
That's right.
I am actually going out with the Queen's Guard, so I feel like the most British person in the world. So my dad is a beefeater, I live in the Tower of London, and my boyfriend is a Queen's Guard.
Wow, this doesn't even sound real.
I know.
So the Tower was a prison at one point and the site of a few beheadings.
Yep.
So speaking of not real, is it haunted, and have you ever experienced a run-in with a Tower ghost?
It does get a little bit hard when I'm here home alone, and it was about 3 o'clock in the morning, had a couple of drinks, and I was about to go to bed, and my TV flashed on kind of the old school static that you see in the horror films, with like a silhouette in front of it. So it's like it had just kind of head and shoulders, and then as quick as it flashed on, it flashed back off again, and I was like, okay, this is where I switch my phone off, roll over, and go to sleep. It was,
I would have ran out of there. Even if like the beefeater had to catch up with me, at least like a human was catching up with me, I could not imagine.
Well, she knows the rule though. Like, if you go to sleep, ghosts can't get you.
Now, I had no idea that there was also an exclusive pub in the tower. I'm so mad I didn't get to visit it. Apparently, many celebrities go there. Leonardo DiCaprio has had a pint there. Is that true? Have you ever spotted stars?
Yeah, when you're famous, you know about it.
Yeah, wow. Have you ever heard about this? And maybe can I use you as a contact next time I'm there?
Well, yeah, even the celebrities have to know a beefeater personally to be able to be invited in. So even Leo had to have a beefeater invite him in. I've never met a celebrity in the bar myself, but my dad does the whole typical dad thing where he's so unaffected by fame and celebrities that he'll just come in after having 1 or 2 pints down there, and he'll be chatting away to me about typical dad things I'm like, okay, fair enough, get to the point. And then about 20 minutes later, he'll go, oh yeah, Tom Hardy was in the tower while I was down in the pub. And I was like, why didn't you ring me up? Just so yeah, I haven't met any myself. But
your dad hogs them all.
And she totally dismissed your invitation.
I know. You didn't say anything about me using you as a contact to get into the secret pub.
That was on purpose.
She laughed it off again.
Feel free if you're not
getting it.
Megan, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining us here on DBL. You can follow all of Megan's adventures on TikTok at Megan AMBXR and learn a thing or two about British history. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
The Verify team is here to make sure that you're only getting the facts when it comes to the recent events in Afghanistan. Take posts like this. The U.S. funded, trained, and armed Taliban to fight the Soviets, wrote one person. So let's verify. Did the U.S. government directly fund the Taliban? Here are our sources. Benjamin Hopkins, a professor of history at the George Washington University. Charles Dunbar, a retired ambassador who worked in Afghanistan in the 80s for the State Department. Mike Lyons, a military analyst. And this report from the Congressional Research Service.
There are linkages, but it's not a direct line.
According to Hopkins, in December of 1979, the Soviet Union sent troops to Afghanistan to protect a communist government. Those troops remained in the country for a decade. Hopkins says that in response, the CIA began sending money through the Pakistani government to the Mujahideen, a group of Islamic militants that were fighting the Soviets. It was deemed Operation Cyclone.
That Operation Cyclone started out very small until finally to the point where it was literally billions and billions of dollars.
This was confirmed by a Congressional Research Service report stating that a total of about $3 billion was given to the Mujahideen from 1980 to 1989, according to the State Department. So how does the Taliban play into all this? Well, according to our experts, the group first began to form in 1994, so money never went directly to the Taliban.
There is a story of Americans arming an anti-Soviet insurgency, some of whom then go on to become part of what will be the Taliban.
Some U.S. funds went to supporting the Mujahideen, who had generally the same point of view as the Taliban.
But any sort of direct linkage, U.S. arming the Mujahideen in the 1980s supports the Taliban in the 2000s, is incorrect.
So we can verify that false. The U.S. government never directly funded the Taliban, but they did support the Mujahideen fighters in the 1980s. With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozlov.
Welcome back to DBL. We love sharing your comments. What do we have, Tori?
All right. Well, one person spoke to Jeff. This is Shelly. Jeff. Shelly
to Jeff.
Jeff said people listen to all leaders, and I don't think that's true because I don't think a lot of people will listen to their political leaders. What do you think about that?
I think she needs to be quiet and listen more to me.
And then,
hey, but thanks for watching.
We're going to just move on to the next comment. Joe says that guy passing the note is odd to me. I think he should mind his own business. I don't know. I always like a little help. But I'm a yenta. If you don't know what that means in Yiddish, it's like, let me find you someone. Let me help you out.
I would have appreciated it. Yeah. I would have appreciated it. But I would think that if she had such a stark point of view on the baby, given that it was really homophobic.
Stop saying his name like that. You're saying that like a mom.
Da baby.
I know, but
I'm a mom of two.
I know.
How am I supposed to say it?
Say it cool.
Well, it's not. You're saying da baby. It's the baby.
The baby.
Just say it. You don't have to prepare for it 5 minutes before time.
I can't handle it. If you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show online.
Hip hop.
Stop it. I like hip hop. Stop. Watch on YouTube, dailybustlive.com, or on our DBL mobile app. But if you're sticking around, here is what's coming up. Paris Hilton's huge wedding plans featuring a 3-day event with 10 outfit changes. Does this make her a bridezilla? And Carrie Underwood takes heat for an anti-mask tweet she liked. Can she still be, or can you rather, still be a fan if your political views do not align?
Flummoxed, confused, perplexed. There's a saying for what we're feeling. It's all Greek to me. But when it comes to variants, Greek needn't bewilder. Why? Because we no longer have to call this variant B.1.1.7 or this one B.1.617.2. We can just call this Alpha and this one Delta. Yep, just like in the Greek alphabet. Alpha, Beta, Gamma, Delta. Each is what the CDC calls a variant of concern. Alpha first showed up in the United Kingdom, Beta in South Africa, Gamma in Brazil, and Delta in India. Let's talk that one. Why? Because we know it's very contagious. Consider what's known as an R0, or average number of unprotected people a virus typically infects. Seasonal influenza, remember that? The CDC says it generally has an R0 of 1. Basically, every person who gets it will typically infect one other person. The original version of SARS-CoV-2, aka the virus that causes COVID-19, had an R0 of 1.5 to 3, according to the CDC. Infectious, yes, as infectious as, let's say, the swine flu. But as SARS-CoV-2 infected millions, it evolved, mutated. Some mutations were inconsequential, some were not. Case in point, the mutations that led to the Delta variant. Smallpox is very contagious. It has an R0 of around 5. The Delta variant of SARS-CoV-2, anywhere between 5 and 9. That's almost in chickenpox territory. And remember, COVID is more deadly than that. Then there's measles, one of the most contagious viruses on the planet. It has an R0 of around 12. Good thing is, we rarely have measles outbreaks in the U.S. Why? You know why. Back to Delta. Maybe this still is, as we say, all Greek to you. But as you consider what it means to you, don't forget just how contagious Delta really is. Honestly, it's nothing to sneeze at.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
Welcome to DBL. Let's get started. Okay, so the social media mob is coming for Carrie Underwood. The singer recently liked a Twitter video posted by conservative commentator Matt Walsh. In the post, he says he's against masks in schools. Now, some of Carrie's own fans are coming for her. One fan says, so Carrie Underwood is an anti-masker. Jesus, take the wheel indeed. Another fan said, Carrie Underwood is an anti-masker? She's canceled in my book. So here's the question, what we need to talk about. Is Carrie going to be canceled? And can you remain a fan when someone says something that is against your beliefs? What would you do? What do you think, Tori? With masks, for me, and this is personal, when you disagree about masks and there's scientific evidence that proves that they are safe, we are no longer disagreeing with each other. You are now rejecting data. I have really no interest in following up a conversation with you. Sorry, I really don't.
What about playing their song in your car?
Now, here's
separating the art from the artist.
Exactly. Now, Pablo Picasso, who I love and did a huge story, was a womanizer and put cigarettes out on women. He was a jerk. But people love Picasso. So it's always like, do we care about the art or the artist? This will make me think differently of Carrie Underwood. Yes.
Let's stay on Carrie Underwood, because we could go down a bunch of different avenues on this one. Yesterday, we were talking about letting people express their beliefs, whether it be politically or whatever. And you said, yes, I'm all for that.
Of course.
But I said, no, you cannot express your beliefs, because if you don't agree with the mob, in this case, like we said at the top.
The mob, by the way, are scientists and doctors here.
Okay, but you don't know her beliefs. You're assuming that she's a Trumper and that because she's country.
I'm assuming she says she doesn't like masks.
She liked a tweet. She did not put anything out in her own words. She liked a tweet. I said at the beginning of the show, I don't think a 2-year-old needs to wear a mask regarding my own kids. I don't think he's going to keep it on. I don't think it's going to be effective. She liked the tweet.
No offense to you, but you don't have the platform of Carrie Underwood. She has a much bigger platform.
But you don't know what she's saying. She
says a lot by liking that tweet. That says a lot,
But
Jeff.
what about your statement yesterday when you said you're allowed to say whatever you want? You're for the Constitution about freedom of speech.
She can say whatever she wants, and she has consequences that I might not like her anymore. Both can be true.
But you're proving my point. You're canceling people based on their opinion without having a conversation, and you just said right now, I will not have a conversation about it.
Absolutely. Canceling is different, and I absolutely think what you're not hearing me say is I think she can say whatever she wants, but I also get the right and the freedom of speech to dislike what she said, and therefore there's consequences.
Canceling?
I didn't say canceling. I said I'm going to think differently of Carrie Underwood. Now, here's a big deal. She didn't just say something or like something. She liked an anti-mask at the height of a pandemic when it's killing people. That's a big, big mark for me, and that's going to be a big difference for us. And yeah, I am going to be.
And listen, I'm for the vaccine. I'm vaccinated. I just want to put it out there.
That was like anti-mask.
I'm for people getting their opinions across. Not whatever it may be. In this case, it's masks. I want to hear from the other side. I want to know, why don't you like masks? Why aren't you vaccinated? Why aren't you for the Black Lives Matter protests? I don't want to cancel those people. I want to hear them out and hear why they feel that way. You, in your own words, just said, I will not have a conversation with you. I am against that fully.
Okay.
Final thought, Tori, and then
Final thought, I'm sorry, very quickly, is that there's a difference between Black Lives Matter and theories and science. And when you disagree with science, you're rejecting data. And for me, that's the line for me. That's the line.
Good conversation, you two. That was a
thought
conversation.
too hard about that knuckle bump, though. You had it right, and then you like looked at it.
I went too hard.
No. It was good though.
You're not just shake it off. Shake it off.
You did go. That was all you. I was waiting for it.
And I was like, hey, you.
It was a little aggressive. It was a little aggressive.
All right, so it's a feud that just won't die. Not these two. It looks like Cattrall is throwing shade at her former Sex and the City co-star. So yesterday, the actress shared a post where she's cradling her co-star, a dog named Pixel, from her TV show Sensitive Skin. In the caption, she wrote, "When your co-star is a real dog." Some say Kim's post could be in retaliation for a recent post by Sarah Jessica Parker. Over the weekend, SJP posted a series of Sex and the City photos with her new cast member, Nicole Ari Parker. So there's been rumors of tension between Kim and SJP for years now, and those rumors were cemented earlier this summer when it was announced that Kim is not going to be part of the upcoming Sex and the City reboot. Are people digging too into this, Al?
No.
You think that was straight up shade?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I think she was calling her a name that we will never mention on daytime television. And I look at this situation and I'm like, you have to do one of two things. Either go on Red Table Talk, you hash it out with the ladies, uncensored, get everything out in the open, or you put this down, because we're coming up on 20, 25 years of this beef, and no matter what happens, time is supposed to heal those wounds. So either they can be healed, so let's make something that would be visually interesting to go see people trying to come back together, or drop it. But we can't have this like every year and a half you say something that kind of
What if we're reading into it, though? What if their beef, they were able, I mean, we all have people in our lives that we were able to say, okay, you served a purpose in my life at one period, right? We were both like-minded at that time. We were both really good friends. And then all of a sudden, we've evolved and we're no longer friends, or there's boundaries. But why did we have to assume that we're digging up beef between the two of them?
Me and Al were talking about this before the show. I thought maybe, you know what, let bygones be bygones. I thought maybe she was just posting something about her own show. Al convinced me otherwise.
Really?
Yeah. I feel like you wouldn't go so specific with your dog
the day after.
with everything going on with Sex and the City.
But the post just happened, and then you respond so specifically with that post.
Yeah.
It feels a little coincidental.
That's a little sub-tweety.
I feel like it. I hate to be that person, but I feel like it too.
No, that's Al stirring the pot, let me tell you.
Al's very convincing.
She didn't do their famous reunion movie. They don't like each other.
They don't. Doesn't mean that every single post is a jab at one another.
If you're wearing a three-piece suit, you carry a lot more weight.
Exactly.
I believe anything else.
Do you want your loan here at Chase or not?
Al needs a monocle. Hello.
Okay, so do you guys think that Paris Hilton is going to be a Bridezilla? That's what some people are saying after she went on Jimmy Fallon to talk about her upcoming wedding. So here's a quick look.
Are you in the planning stages now?
Yes, we are planning everything. It's very stressful.
It's a lot of stuff. Have you picked out a dress?
Yes, that's basically the only thing that I've done.
Yeah. It's a lot of stuff, though.
It's a lot. But I'm not a Bridezilla at all.
No, I didn't think you would be, though. I think that you would have this under control.
Paris says her wedding will be a 3-day event with about 10 outfit changes. She also is going to be documenting the wedding for her show on Peacock, saying she's happy to show her fans her fairy tale wedding. Tori, is this Bridezilla-esque or no?
Can I be honest about Paris Hilton? I really like her, but she's not funny. She doesn't do anything for me. She's like kind of like.
So how much do you really like her?
Carson Daly to me. There's a little cardboard, vanilla. I need a little something else.
What? She's a personality.
Name 3 things she kind of gives.
She's a personality.
How?
She is the height of glamour. She's from a super rich family, and she wants to show off with a 3-day wedding.
Are you guys really stuck on the Paris Hilton from the 90s? What about the Paris Hilton in the last year, where we saw become an advocate, an activist, more TV shows that she's completely sold on her own?
Don't throw you guys into Tori's anti-Paris rhetoric.
I'm not anti-Paris. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I find her really, I love her advocacy. I've just always found her a bit like, huh. I'm just never like.
You don't think that there's just attractive people that are rich that a lot of people stare at, look at their life, wish they were theirs?
I feel like it's boring.
It's Instagram.
But you're saying it's boring. Her job is to be decadent. That's what she does. We've had people on ours. Little Richard was like that. Liberace. Some people do everything extra. We can't all have like a a wedding at a VFW hall. Somebody got to shake it up. Good for her.
I agree. If you've seen her cooking show, have you seen it? She puts glitter in everything.
That's insane.
Glitter?
Edible glitter in everything.
Oh, well, don't say edible glitter like you know. What?
You said that some people are supposed to be extra.
Yes. Listen, let's get back to the Bridezilla thing. How could you even say in the same sentence that you're having a 3-day wedding and that you're not a Bridezilla?
You can be.
No, I wouldn't
in
marry
culture, they do 3-day weddings.
No.
It doesn't mean that you're a Bridezilla.
No. If my wife wanted a 3-day wedding, I would not get married. I'm not even joking. I would say, are you out of your mind? 3 days of marriage?
It is
no.
Culturally, though.
I'm not going to a 3-day wedding. I'm not even going to be part of that. I'm out.
Let's be honest, though. 3 days, when you really think about it.
Exhausting.
Well, of course, but most weddings nowadays, you have like that dinner before.
Yeah, the
rehearsal
wedding and
dinner.
the brunch.
Then you have the wedding, and then the day after you have the brunch. So what's different about it?
Nightmare.
No.
That's what people do.
Yeah, they sure do have brunch, and you have to sort of pay for that brunch too now.
like
Now it's become
brunch
part of the wedding. You're absolutely right.
I don't want to go to your brunch so I can watch you drink in the morning. I don't care. Like, just drink in the morning like a real alcoholic. Stop acting like this is about breakfast.
You guys think about brunch and drinking.
You're not a big fan of the brunch.
No.
I know it's bottomless mimosas. It's too much.
Yeah, no one ever talks about the eggs.
Now
That's interesting.
I think bottomless mimosas is too much. When you're a parent,
we're off the wedding thing?
Yeah, I'm off the wedding thing. I'm back on a bottomless mimosas. How are you supposed to
I think the Bloody Marys is the biggest ripoff because no one can have that much tomato juice. You can only have 2.
Somebody laughed in the booth.
Yeah.
I feel like Tori should weigh in on
wants
this.
I enjoy
belly
it.
full of tomato juice?
I'm fine with it. I like
Too
it.
acidic.
Yeah.
No one's fine with tomato juice.
Okay, V8 hater.
I like a good V8.
More than 2?
Okay, coming up on DBL.
Okay.
Coming up on DBL. An all-new True Crime Chronicles. A woman is convinced police got the wrong man in her mother's murder. How she's still searching for answers 30 years later.
Closed captioning provided by
Hi, DBL Nation. Kelly Schubert here with Tori. Tori, you have a comment?
Al called her substitute art teacher, by the way, which was a great call for this look. Someone wrote to us and said, Jeff and Tori together are good TV, loud, but very good TV.
There we go.
I just wanted to clarify, too. I find asking people to follow up on, like, Black Lives Matter, religion, philosophy, theories is super different than, again, the mask problem. To me, that's very black and white. It's very scientific. The Dr. Coley has come on and told me it is very effective, one of the most effective ways. To me, I can't further have a conversation with you if you're rejecting that data. We don't have a lot to talk
What
about.
if they don't know the data like you do? What if you have an opportunity?
Then don't reject it if you don't know enough about it.
But
you
how
have
do you
to have
know
that
that by
conversation.
liking
That's
a
what the
tweet, though?
But Carrie Underwood, by liking that,
endorses it.
And she has such a big platform that everyone will follow that like. That's an enormous following. Country music fans, people in the South,
But
people
what if
in
you
rural
could
areas.
convince otherwise?
The issue to me is if you're not convinced by a doctor, I'm not going to convince you. You're not interested in science. I don't have anything to
But
say
do you guys
to
see
you.
this as a bigger problem of like we know too much about everything?
Yeah,
I think
I
in
know
the
what you mean.
80s and 90s, like I don't know who Lionel Richie voted for president. You could just enjoy
What's
their
up with you
music.
and Lionel
But
Richie?
now everybody. That's the first time I've said his name.
No, you've said it 3 times now.
When?
He said
The last 2
Liberace.
stories.
No, he
Liberace,
said Lionel Richie
I said-
before.
no,
Little
I
Rich
said
and Rick
Liberace.
James.
No, you didn't.
I
No,
said-
he didn't
Little
say
Richard.
Rick James.
I said Liberace.
Oh, you said Little Richard.
Yeah.
You said 3 times.
3 times.
I love Lionel Richie. I'm sorry.
So it was 0.
Any black man from the 80s should just hear Lionel Richie. Lionel Richie. Yeah.
Have you guys seen that?
Stevie
pop
Wonder, you
that
mean
has
Lionel Richie? Stevie Wonder?
Hello, is it tea you're looking for? Have you seen that?
Yes.
Shout out to Little Richard.
Have you seen that cup?
King.
It says, hello, is it tea you're looking for? And it's got Lionel Richie on it as a tea mug. Did I quiet the set?
Dude, we had a good thing going on.
DBL Nation, let us know. Can you separate the art from the artist? Bye.
Welcome back to DBL. Who really killed Effie Antazari? It's been more than 30 years since she was murdered, and her daughter is on a quest to find out once and for all who would want to kill her mother. That's in today's True Crime Chronicles.
She had a life, and someone took that away.
Pune Gray will never forget May 1st, 1989. Her life would forever be altered in ways she would never have imagined.
There has not been one day that's gone by since my mom's murder that I haven't thought about her and this case.
Pune's mother, Effie Antazari, left for work like she had done so many mornings before. It was just before 6 a.m. She was approached by someone in the parking lot and shot in the head at point-blank range. A neighbor reported seeing a yellow car speed out of the parking lot shortly after Effie's murder. No other witnesses reported anything to the authorities.
This was a premeditated, highly calculating homicide.
A man was arrested and charged with the murder of Effie. That man just happened to be Mike Antazari, Effie's husband and Pune's father. Mike and Effie were going through a divorce. Mike had no alibi, and worse yet, a gun, the same type of gun that killed Effie, was found in Mike's car. A jury found him guilty of the murder of his wife. He ended up serving 16 years of a 25-year sentence behind bars until his death in 2019. Mike had always maintained his innocence.
It was not a fact-based trial. It was just a lot of smoke and mirrors.
Pune hired a team of lawyers, private investigators, forensic examiners in an attempt to find the real killer or killers. She will never stop fighting for justice and exonerating her father. Pune wants to know once and for all who killed Effie Antazari. They point to a lack of physical evidence against Mike Antazari. Mike didn't drive a yellow car like the one seen speeding away from the scene. And investigators never found evidence of Effie's blood on Mike's clothing or in the barrel of his gun. Pune believes one of the biggest pieces of evidence that could alter this case is DNA. Samples found on Effie's clothes years after her murder, thanks to DNA advancements.
There was a mixture. There were multiple individuals' DNA on the sweater and the DNA that was collected. The predominant DNA that we found is from the person who we believe is the shooter.
Will this new DNA evidence be the smoking gun of this case 32 years later? Will Pune be able to overturn her father's conviction and keep the promise she made to her mother? Will there ever be closure?
I've never had a doubt that I'm going to get the person that killed my mom.
A daughter's love for her mother knows no bounds. This story is truly heartbreaking. Earlier, Al and I spoke with the podcast host for the latest on this case. Take a look. And we are here with the Yellow Car podcast host, Ashley Korslin. Ashley, by the way, is also an award-winning journalist and longtime KGW anchor. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to DBL.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to be here to talk about the case.
Why did you think that this was a good topic, that this case specifically would be a good fit for your podcast?
Well, the case itself is compelling, but honestly, I would say it was Pune, the couple's daughter, at the center of this case. We are talking about someone who spent 32 years of her own life working on her mom's murder investigation, despite the fact that her dad went to prison. And the fact that she has spent more than $1 million, close to $2 million at this point, on a team of lawyers and investigators, to me was really compelling. And I thought, you know, there must be something else here if she hasn't been able to let this go 3 decades later.
Wow. Right. Well, speaking about 3 decades later, if this same case happened today, what do you think would happen?
I would think at the very least, the investigation perhaps would have been done differently when you think about advancements in DNA technology that we have today that we didn't have. Back in 1989, DNA was in its infancy. Today, there would also be a lot of things done differently, I believe, with ballistics and how they examine and compare an evidence bullet to a gun. Now, as for the verdict and the outcome, it's hard to say what the evidence would have shown and whether a jury still would have convicted Mike.
Speaking of Mike Antazari, why was he found guilty?
I believe came down to the ballistics portion. When you have a state ballistics expert saying this bullet was fired from this gun, Mike's gun, to me, that's what really sealed the deal for the jury.
Pune found some strange occurrences leading up to her mother's death. You know, maybe that's why she hasn't been able to let this go. So can you tell our audience what were they?
Yeah, so when Effie and Mike were separated, Effie had lived in her own apartment complex at the time of her death, and neighbors had eventually reported to police that there were some really strange occurrences, fights in her apartment at odd hours of the night, unknown men who were there. Effie seemed upset. The most striking thing was perhaps the medical examiner, when they did the autopsy, found bruising all over Effie's body, and the bruising had been there for some time, so that meant it was unrelated to the murder. Things that you couldn't really explain, and Mike was never tied to any of that activity. The daughter, Pune, goes, look, my mom was being threatened. Somebody wanted to silence her. She knew something, and people were hurting her. And that's the thread line throughout this series that really kept her going, is that there were just too many strange things happening to just explain away that my dad killed my mom.
Wow, Ashley, I just pray that your podcast, her and her 3 decades worth of research, somehow provides answers for her. How likely is it that prosecutors will reopen this case?
The sheriff's office did confirm to me they do have a detective actively working this case. So that to me was a little peek behind the curtain on, okay, they're looking into this. It's not like they're just brushing it off. I think at this point, they're not able to speak publicly about what they have discovered and what they're going to do moving forward.
Wow. Unbelievable. I really do hope that they reopen the case, just personally. Ashley, thank you so much for being on DBL's True Crime Chronicles and for bringing this case to light. You can check out DBL Nation, The Yellow Car on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever else you get your podcasts. Make sure that you listen. And thank you again, Ashley. We'll be right back.
Thanks, you guys, for having me. Appreciate it.
Thursday on DBL, Bravo star Lisa Vanderpump will be here live. How does she feel about becoming a grandma? That's Thursday on DBL. DBL is your daytime destination.
I get very excited.
I was excited with you.
Okay, thank you.
We are fired up. I am feeling very disagreeable. Educate yourself.
Though I got to push back because sometimes...
No, I won't accept that.
Check that. And having fun.
Did you have 2 straws and a strawberry shake?
I felt it in my heart and in my soul.
What's Jeff thinking?
I don't want to get canceled.
DBL's all new every day. Welcome back to DBL. Did you know that your vaccine status could affect your income? So we're going to chat about it in today's Bang for Your Buck, presented by The Hartford. To cover health costs, more and more companies are considering charging higher insurance premiums for their unvaccinated staff. This means your employer could pocket an extra $50 per paycheck if you're unvaccinated. That's an extra $1,300 each year. So this is one of the many reasons why you should talk to your doctor about getting vaccinated against COVID-19 and for quality and affordable insurance. The Buck's got your back. The Hartford will be happy to provide you solutions. Call the Hartford at 1-800-684-6085 or visit thehartford.com to learn more. Does that surprise you, Al?
You've got to do something to make people do things that they might not want to do. You have to incentivize them. Just like a parking ticket incentivizes you not to park on the street on Tuesdays, maybe this is what you need. Some people, $1,000 a year is a lot.
I think it's a bottom line, too. They don't want to have to be responsible for all of your hospital bills, God forbid, if you contracted COVID,
That's right.
Amen. All right, we'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
The Verify team is here to make sure that you're only getting the facts when it comes to the recent events in Afghanistan. Take posts like this. The U.S. funded, trained, and armed Taliban to fight the Soviets, wrote one person. So let's verify. Did the U.S. government directly fund the Taliban? Here are our sources. Benjamin Hopkins, a professor of history at the George Washington University. Charles Dunbar, a retired ambassador who worked in Afghanistan in the 80s for the State Department. Mike Lyons, a military analyst. And this report from the Congressional Research Service.
There are linkages, but it's not a direct line.
According to Hopkins, in December of 1979, the Soviet Union sent troops to Afghanistan to protect a communist government. Those troops remained in the country for a decade. Hopkins says that in response, the CIA began sending money through the Pakistani government to the Mujahideen, a group of Islamic militants that were fighting the Soviets. It was deemed Operation Cyclone.
That Operation Cyclone started out very small until finally to the point where it was literally billions and billions of dollars.
This was confirmed by a Congressional Research Service report stating that a total of about $3 billion was given to the Mujahideen from 1980 to 1989, according to the State Department. So how does the Taliban play into all this? Well, according to our experts, the group first began to form in 1994, so money never went directly to the Taliban.
There is a story of Americans arming an anti-Soviet insurgency, some of whom then go on to become part of what will be the Taliban.
Some U.S. funds went to supporting the Mujahideen, who had generally the same point of view as the Taliban.
But any sort of direct linkage, U.S. arming the Mujahideen in the 1980s supports the Taliban in the 2000s, is incorrect.
So we can verify that false. The U.S. government never directly funded the Taliban, but they did support the Mujahideen fighters in the 1980s. With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozlov.
Tomorrow on DBL, Bravo star Lisa Vanderpump will be here live. How does she feel about becoming a grandma? That's tomorrow on DBL.
Thanks for
back
clarifying.
to DBL. We love sharing your comments. Tori, what do we got? All right, first I want to call out Mickey because I didn't call her out earlier. I'm so sorry. And Michelle wrote, these hosts crack me up with their bickering. I'm old. I don't do Twitter or Insta, but I enjoy the show. I take my lunch hour at 2 o'clock every day to watch them in Georgia. Keep up the great show.
Shout out to Georgia.
I know. I love a lot of people take their lunch hour with us.
Nice.
Huh?
Yes, we can annoy them in the break room. A lot of people also watch us at the gym, which is good. Yes.
Nail salons too.
We can see. You got. No, I like your nails.
Thank
They're very
you.
Halloween-y.
Is that three?
DBL's new every day. What did he say?
Flummoxed, confused, perplexed. There's a saying for what we're feeling. It's all Greek to me. But when it comes to variants, Greek needn't bewilder. Why? Because we no longer have to call this variant B.1.1.7 or this one B.1.617.2. We can just call this Alpha and this one Delta. Yep, just like in the Greek alphabet. Alpha, Beta, Gamma, Delta. Each is what the CDC calls a variant of concern. Alpha first showed up in the United Kingdom, Beta in South Africa, Gamma in Brazil, and Delta in India. Let's talk that one. Why? Because we know it's very contagious. Consider what's known as an R0, or average number of unprotected people a virus typically infects. Seasonal influenza, remember that? The CDC says it generally has an R0 of 1. Basically, every person who gets it will typically infect one other person. The original version of SARS-CoV-2, aka the virus that causes COVID-19, had an R0 of 1.5 to 3, according to the CDC. Infectious, yes, as infectious as, let's say, the swine flu. But as SARS-CoV-2 infected millions, it evolved, mutated. Some mutations were inconsequential, some were not. Case in point, the mutations that led to the Delta variant. Smallpox is very contagious. It has an R0 of around 5. The Delta variant of SARS-CoV-2, anywhere between 5 and 9. That's almost in chickenpox territory. And remember, COVID is more deadly than that. Then there's measles, one of the most contagious viruses on the planet. It has an R0 of around 12. Good thing is, we rarely have measles outbreaks in the U.S. Why? You know why. Back to Delta. Maybe this still is, as we say, all Greek to you. But as you consider what it means to you, don't forget just how contagious Delta really is. Honestly, it's nothing to sneeze at.
Here's what we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
The debate over masks in schools is heating up as parents are outraged over their district's decisions. Are the kids just stuck in the middle? A woman gets stunned on a first date when a stranger passes her a note. Why did he tell her to run? In today's True Crime Chronicles, a daughter seeks answers in her mother's murder 30 years later.
There has not been one day that's gone by since my mom's murder that I haven't thought about her and this case.
Was the wrong person arrested? And is Kim Cattrall throwing major shade at Sarah Jessica Parker? The reason fans are freaking out right now.
Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to DBL. It is Wednesday, August 18th. I'm Sam here with Al, Jeff, and Tori. Let's get started. Wow, the war over face masks has arrived at schools across the country. Now, the superintendent at an Austin school district said that one parent ripped a teacher's mask off her face. He said other parents yelled and verbally assaulted teachers. And in California, one parent allegedly yelled at the principal and then assaulted a teacher over mask requirements. All right, so DBL Nation, we got to hear from you on this. How do you feel about schools and teachers becoming targets in the mask wars? Is this fair, Tori, to teachers and students?
Nothing is ever fair to teachers. We make teachers do everything. Now they're getting assaulted over masks because they want to save their lives. This is so silly. So to any teacher out there, you're not getting paid enough, and I'm just sorry that we make you like take down a gun shooter and also have to protect yourself against like masks, assaulters. All of this is stupid. Masks have become politicized. They're a piece of cloth. They save lives. There's no reason for it. Republican or Democrat, in 1918, we all wore masks because of the Spanish flu. We don't have the Spanish flu anymore. Here's a picture of the cops wearing it in 1918. It would say, wear your gauze or go to jail. This isn't new. This isn't rocket science. It's actually the most basic form of protection. So I'm sorry that we're going to have to continue with masks, but let's not get violent. I mean, really.
I think when we talk about these stories, we have to understand the percentages we're talking about, and it's less than 1% of insane people that do something like this. I'm vaccinated. I don't know if I have to preface that. I think I do nowadays. But my kids, their first day of preschool was today, and we just got an email. I remember there they are this morning. And I remember I was talking about this maybe earlier this week or late last week about that they didn't have to wear masks. We just got an email this morning saying starting on August 23rd, they will now have to wear masks from 2 years old to 11 years old. That means my youngest, who's 2, has to wear a mask. I'm not happy about that. I don't think he needs to wear a mask. I believe it might stunt him some way, even though we had Dr. Coley on, who told, I have my own concerns. At no point my thought process that I feel like I needed to go to the school and rip a teacher's mask off of her face. That's insane. insanity.
Al, you were a teacher.
Yes.
What would you have done if this happened when you were teaching?
You know, people wouldn't come for me like that, but I think that people come for the teachers that they know that they can because they know that there's not going to be any repercussions. We can yell at teachers. I was disrespected multiple times at parent-teacher conferences, and it's just a thing in our society where we say that we love our teachers, we say that we love our, our frontline workers, but remember, as soon as something went down, what do we see? Clips of Pizza Hut employees getting yelled at, clips of Target employees getting yelled at. We tend to put these people on a pedestal, but it's not real because as soon as something goes wrong, those are the first people we go after.
Yeah.
I really quickly just want to go back to you because we have new information from the CDC saying that protection against COVID from vaccines has declined. Therefore, we all are going to need a booster. So does that make you want your kids to mask up even more, that protection's declined?
It's not even about the mask so much. It's just about how do you get a 2-year-old to put that on, right? I'm not talking about what we need in the future as adults. I'm just, how do you put a 2-year-old in a mask? That's my problem. Going back to your question, I have no problem with the boost. Do I have questions before I get it? Or do I need some answers? Have Dr. Coley up here? Of course. But a rational conversation, not insanity to the point where I'm stapling things to a piece of wood and running around the neighborhood instead of going to work.
Got it.
Wow. Got it.
I totally think that your point is valid.
Yeah,
you can disagree without going and abusing a teacher.
Yeah.
I'm with you. All right, so last night was the first night that people in New York City were required to show proof of vaccination in order to go out to eat indoors, go to the gym, or visit a museum. Meantime, the Las Vegas Raiders are now requiring fans at their home games to show proof of vaccination. So these requirements are reportedly helping fuel a black market, of course, and fake or forged vaccination cards. Speaking of which, check out these fake vaccination cards that border agents seized after they were shipped from China. There were thousands of them. And in Chicago, a pharmacist has been charged with selling real vaccination cards on eBay that were allegedly stolen from his work. Tori, you were just shaking your head.
I'm very concerned about this, because I don't think the vaccination cards are that hard to fake. First off, I thought we'd have a holographic something, an inner code or digitize something. I feel like it's a number 2 pencil and like a piece of napkin that we have. So one, I'd love to see an updated vaccination card. And number 2, it's not just silly that they're getting the vaccination cards. Al said it well, too, and I want you to go back. If you feel like you're in a place where everyone's vaccinated and you feel okay to take your mask off and you're lying, you're actually assaulting me with a deadly weapon. Because if you're carrying that, you could spread that to everyone. There needs to be an enormous penalty or a fine for that, because it isn't just, oh, it's a fake ID card. A fake ID card isn't contagious. You are. That's a different story.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I lived in Florida, there was a famous case where this gentleman successfully sued a bar that he was at because they allowed an underage girl to go in there. They had consensual sex, and he was then brought up on statutory rape charges. But his defense was, I'm assuming that everybody in here is 21 because that's what that's what you have to do to get in here. So now we're not only talking about people that are liable in terms of their health, but also businesses. And really, let's be honest, this is a capitalistic society, and that's what people unfortunately really care about. So we're going to have businesses that are going to be really cracking down on this, as well as people.
But to the flip side to that, I was watching the news, and I forgot if it was in New York or Louisiana. I forget which one. But they were putting this on the restaurant owners to enforce this, right? And the business owners were saying, I don't know about these cards. I don't know what's real or not. I know how to make a pizza or make pasta. I can't enforce this. This isn't my job, right? So how are we putting this job on restaurant and business owners? It's
going to be bumpy in the beginning. It's new.
Bumpy? How is that going to ever iron out? It's never going to ever iron out.
It will. It'll be on a QR code on your phone at some point. That's what in Amsterdam it already is.
What about people that don't use QR codes on their phone?
Yeah,
I can imagine trying to explain to my late father what a QR code is and how to download it on his phone.
We went to dinner with my father-in-law, and he goes, here's your menu, and it was a QR code, and he goes, what, are you kidding?
Yeah.
I just experienced that last night, but I don't want to shame the person that I went to dinner with. All right, speaking of the vaccine, the Pope is encouraging everyone to get vaccinated. Can you believe it? In a newly released video, Pope Francis said, quote, being vaccinated is an act of love. He also called it a moral obligation to get the shot. Jeff, do you think that people are going to listen to religious leaders? You do.
I think they do. I think they listen to any leaders, not just religious. I think they listen to their favorite pop star, their favorite movie star. That's why people come out and say, vote for my guy, right? Because people listen. Unfortunately, people out there, and they can't formulate their own opinion. Let's just be honest. They cannot. So if somebody that they look up to, that they've known their whole life and believe in and trust, their word is the gospel.
I must say, I'm not Catholic, but I know the amount of presence and what his reputation and platform gives, bless you. But I will tell you this will save millions of lives, because some Catholics are concerned about where the Pope fell on this, because he said, okay, millions of lives saved. Honestly, this is a big, big deal.
You missed the correlation between the Pope and then you said, bless you. You know what I mean? You missed it. You dropped it.
I'm Jewish. I'm sorry.
Coming up on DBL, if you missed this interview when we aired it during the Summer Games, don't worry, we have an encore presentation today. We talked with a woman who tells us what it's like living inside the Tower of London. Is it really haunted? And Kim Cattrall's latest Instagram post has fans wondering if she's throwing some subtle shade. Was it really a dig at Sarah Jessica Parker? Plus, the story behind this note. A woman on a first date was given by a stranger. Why did the fellow diner feel the need to warn her?
Closed captioning provided by
Hi, DBL Nation. Happy Wednesday. It's Kelly Schubert here with Jeff. Jeff, how's it going?
You're very colorful today, and I've been talking to you for 2 hours and just noticed.
Very bright.
Can we open, Tiffany, I want to say something really quick. Little shout out if you can. We just had delicious burritos at a burrito tuck from Los Cocinas. Lisa's Cocinas.
Cucina?
Cocina.
Sophia taught us how to say it.
It's not Cocina, that's Italian.
Yeah.
Cocina is Spanish.
Yeah, she taught us that. I always thought it was
Anyway,
Cocina,
delicious
too.
if you're in the Denver metropolitan area. Lily's Cocina.
All right,
Great advertisement.
And where is it located?
In Denver.
Great.
Downtown Denver. And it's
She has no idea.
it's by the
travels
roads
all
and the
around.
streets.
Tori, we
area.
have a substitute art teacher with us. What were you saying? I'm going to be filling in from...
Mrs. Rob made fun of this shirt too, so I'd say it's not a winner.
No, it's definitely a winner.
Is this not her personality?
I wasn't doing that to make. I just noticed it right now. I was like, wow.
It is very bright. It's quite,
You know
it's quite
why?
bright.
Because like you guys are both wearing black or
Art
dark colors.
teacher,
and when
you
come
nailed
out-
it though. It does look like an art teacher.
You could be a substitute teacher.
Oh, I totally could.
Because you're like so cheery, like.
I could never be a teacher, but I could be a substitute, maybe.
And like, hey, shut up, and you're like, hey, don't worry back there.
But Kelly,
That teacher
she's
stinks.
not a pushover either. She's that weird combination where she's super
Yeah.
sweet.
If you push it too far.
Yeah, she's not a pushover though, Kelly.
No, you're right. You're right.
That South's gonna come out.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, Jeff, how is Big Brother this season? Our viewers wanted to talk about Big Brother a little bit.
Well,
I find it very boring, to be honest.
I'm actually a little behind myself. We've had a lot of trips and vacations in between, so I'm a little behind. But
what would it take for you to?
yeah, let me gather my thoughts, and I'll let you guys
We'll
know.
talk about it in the next break, guys, during Access.
No, I mean like next week.
Oh, okay, well, next week.
Welcome back to DBL. You'll never guess what a woman who was on a date what she got from a random stranger. So it was a note written on a CVS receipt, or maybe one of those really long, like printouts
The
that come out.
longest ever.
Right, you could write a story on those. Well, anyways, the note reads, "Too many red flags. Run. Be safe, girl." The woman tweeted the picture saying it was given to her by a gay man sitting behind her. She also said she noticed the red flags too, but didn't feel like she was in danger. Ooh, have you ever passed a note if you were, Tori, worried about someone on a date?
No, but I 100% would. And here's the two things I would do. One, if I really did think this guy was or a girl was causing danger, I would say something or slip a note. I'm someone that, as a woman, I would take help from anyone. If someone's giving you a nod or in a parking lot, come with me, I'll walk you to your car. I'll take any help. It's scary out there. But two, if they talk badly about the person when they go to the bathroom, or if they're rude to the waiter, I would just be like, heads up, not my type. That's how I would do it. I know I'm pushy. I'm a little bit Jewy in your face about it. I know that, a little nosy, but I want to help a person out.
If someone was rude to the waiter and they went to the bathroom, you would intrude on that date and say, hey.
I know, if they were rude to the waiter and then they went to the bathroom, I'd look over, and I'd be like,
What if
you're rude to the waiter, 6 months, that's how you're treating the partner.
Does it matter, Jeff, that this was a coffee date?
She so would not do that.
I bet she would.
I think she would.
Does it matter that this was a coffee date, not a dinner date? Because dinner dates are late at night. This is during the day. There's a lot of people around. Does that factor in or no?
No, but you know what does factor in? And I checked with Michael Dean on the side. Coming from a gay man and coming from a straight man are two different things. If a straight man goes to me, hey, watch out for this. It'd be like Tori telling me, who's this crazy person behind me? And then if a gay man told me, I'd be like, it just carries more weight with me. I'd be like, huh.
Well, you know that he doesn't have
He's
any
onto something there.
Yeah, he doesn't have any skin in the game.
No agenda.
But you know, I do, and I have. You know, it's interesting, Sam. When everybody's talking, I thought about a situation. I'm not going to say the country, but some of my buddies were on a bus on an island nation.
Oh.
And we were like, let's get away from the resorts. We don't want to be these tourists. Let's go see the people. And we're on the bus, and we're about to get off at the stop, and the bus driver goes, if you get off the bus, they're going to slit your throat. Like, said it like to me and my boys, and we were like, sat right back down and took our American behinds right back to the right. Yeah, but it's like we listened.
Right.
You know?
Did you guys know what their conversation was?
Yeah, something about DaBaby.
Yes. The two were loudly disagreeing about DaBaby. If you guys remember DaBaby, what he said, he had a homophobic rant about AIDS, and it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Not only the inaccuracy of it, but how it came off homophobic. So they were debating whether or not that was homophobic or not.
Ooh. How does that come up on a first date?
Yeah.
You should be like, hey, do you have any brothers?
Yeah. What's it say?
What?
Give
What
it to me. What does it say?
No, it doesn't say anything.
What does it say?
Okay, Sam, you read it.
What does it say?
What?
It says the girl at the end of the table, not this side, right? That side? Good. At the end of the table is insane. Be safe.
Who wrote that?
I'm going. I'm out of here.
Bye, Tori. We love you.
Hey, the waiter was mean. Break up with that guy.
Coming up on DBL, a story you may have missed when we aired it during the summer games. A college student tells us all about what it's like living in the Tower of London. Can you imagine? Wow. How did she score a spot in a castle?
These images and videos have surfaced recently. They claim to show scenes from the Taliban's rush to seize power in Afghanistan, but not all of them are connected to current events. So let's walk through what's real and what's not. Our sources include InVid, a video forensics tool, RevEye, a reverse image search tool, Google Maps, the United States Air Force, and Pacific Air Forces. This video was shared across Facebook more than 60,000 times. The post claims it was taken in Kabul, the capital of Afghanistan, and shows the Taliban taking over the presidential palace. But our sources show that is false. Using InVid, Verify isolated frames and was able to confirm the footage was actually taken in the Syrian city of Idlib. We know that because the same footage can be seen at 1 minute and 15 seconds into this YouTube video. And that footage was taken in 2015 amid unrest in Syria. So we can verify this as false. The video was not taken in Kabul. Next up, there's a lot of confusion about these two photos, both posted to Twitter. Both photos claim to show people being airlifted from a Kabul airport, but our sources say that's not true. So let's clear this up. On Sunday, during the rush to evacuate people from Afghanistan, a U.S. military cargo plane did transport around 640 Afghan citizens to Qatar. That's what you see in this photo on the right, taken by U.S. Air Force. But Verify used RevEye and found the photo on the left isn't from Kabul. We tracked that picture back to Pacific Air Force's website. PACAF is a U.S. Air Force Major Command Center headquartered in Hawaii. The site confirms this picture was actually taken in the Philippines on November 17, 2013, and shows people being evacuated to Manila following Super Typhoon Haiyan. So we can verify. The photo on the right is from Kabul, but the photo on the left is not. With your Verify, I'm Ariane Till.
Welcome back to DBL. In some ways, 21-year-old Megan Clausen is living the life of a medieval princess. She and her dad live inside the historic Tower of London. You may have missed this story when it aired during the Summer Games, so here is an encore look at Megan's life in a castle. Megan Clausen is bringing some unusual British history to life. She's been living in the Tower of London for a year with her dad, who is a beef eater or tower guard. The 13th century fortress was once a castle, a prison, and is now home to the famous crown jewels. It's also notorious for the beheading of Anne Boleyn, King Henry VIII's second wife. But Megan likes to focus on some of the lesser known facts of the tower's history.
The tale that I am about to tell is considered one of the goriest in the history of the Tower of London.
Her videos on TikTok have earned her 30,000 followers who love seeing what her life living in a tourist attraction is really like.
It's a real privilege to live inside the Tower of London until you realise that you're also part of the attraction and you have a lovely audience for most of the day.
Megan, welcome to DBL. So this is fascinating. My husband and I visited the Tower of London. It was one of our most memorable experiences. I can't believe that you live there. So how much of the tower's history did you know before you actually moved in with your dad, who's a guard there?
I thought when he said, oh, I'll be living in the Tower of London, I thought he meant he was going to be living in Tower Bridge. Really had no clue what I was letting myself in for, really.
The tower is heavily guarded, and that's kind of a question I have. So, like, what restrictions are there for you? Like, what can and can you not do?
There's always a beefeater on guard, so if you want to leave after a certain time, you have to sign out and things like that. And to be let in, again, you need to have told somebody beforehand, so everybody knows where you are at what time and what you're wearing and everything. So
no
it's
sneaking out.
I was going to say, so let's keep it 100. That's what we do on this show. How does this affect your dating life? Because I know it's got to be hard to tell people, like, hey, you need to sign in with this guard.
You date a beefeater.
That's right.
I am actually going out with the Queen's Guard, so I feel like the most British person in the world. So my dad is a beefeater, I live in the Tower of London, and my boyfriend is a Queen's Guard.
Wow, this doesn't even sound real.
I know.
So the tower was a prison at one point and the site of a few beheadings.
Yep.
So speaking of not real, is it haunted, and have you ever experienced a run-in with a tower ghost?
It does get a little bit hard when I'm here home alone, and it was about 3 o'clock in the morning, had a couple of drinks, and I was about to go to bed, and my TV flashed on kind of the old school static that you see in the horror films, with like a silhouette in front of it. So it's like it had just kind of head and shoulders, and then as quick as it flashed on, it flashed back off again, and I was like, okay, this is where I'd switch my phone off, roll over, and go to sleep. It was,
I would have ran out of there. Even if like the beefeater had to catch up with me, at least like a human was catching up with me, I could not imagine.
Well, she knows the rule though. Like, if you go to sleep, ghosts can't get you.
Now, I had no idea that there was also an exclusive pub in the tower. I'm so mad I didn't get to visit it. Apparently, many celebrities go there. Leonardo DiCaprio has had a pint there. Is that true? Have you ever spotted stars?
Yeah, when you're famous, you know about it.
Yeah, wow. Have you ever heard about this? And maybe can I use you as a contact next time I'm there?
Well, yeah, even the celebrities have to know a beefeater personally to be able to be invited in. So even Leo had to have a beefeater invite him in. I've never met a celebrity in the bar myself, but my dad does the whole typical dad thing where he's so unaffected by fame and celebrities that he'll just come in after having 1 or 2 pints down there, and he'll be chatting away to me about typical dad things I'm like, okay, fair enough, get to the point. And then about 20 minutes later, he'll go, oh yeah, Tom Hardy was in the tower while I was down in the pub. And I was like, why didn't you ring me up? Just so yeah, I haven't met any myself. But
your dad hogs them all.
And she totally dismissed your invitation.
I know. You didn't say anything about me using you as a contact to get into the secret pub.
That was on purpose.
She laughed it off again.
Feel free if you recognize me.
You're not getting it.
Megan, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining us here on DBL. You can follow all of Megan's adventures on TikTok at Megan AMBXR and learn a thing or two about British history. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
The Verify team is here to make sure that you're only getting the facts when it comes to the recent events in Afghanistan. Take posts like this. The U.S. funded, trained, and armed Taliban to fight the Soviets, wrote one person. So let's verify. Did the U.S. government directly fund the Taliban? Here are our sources. Benjamin Hopkins, a professor of history at the George Washington University. Charles Dunbar, a retired ambassador who worked in Afghanistan in the 80s for the State Department. Mike Lyons, a military analyst. And this report from the Congressional Research Service.
There are linkages, but it's not a direct line.
According to Hopkins, in December of 1979, the Soviet Union sent troops to Afghanistan to protect a communist government. Those troops remained in the country for a decade. Hopkins says that in response, the CIA began sending money through the Pakistani government to the Mujahideen, a group of Islamic militants that were fighting the Soviets. It was deemed Operation Cyclone.
That Operation Cyclone started out very small until finally to the point where it was literally billions and billions of dollars.
This was confirmed by a Congressional Research Service report stating that a total of about $3 billion was given to the Mujahideen from 1980 to 1989, according to the State Department. So how does the Taliban play into all this? Well, according to our experts, the group first began to form in 1994, so money never went directly to the Taliban.
There is a story of Americans arming an anti-Soviet insurgency, some of whom then go on to become part of what will be the Taliban.
Some U.S. funds went to supporting the Mujahideen, who had generally the same point of view as the Taliban.
But any sort of direct linkage, U.S. arming the Mujahideen in the 1980s supports the Taliban of the 2000s, is incorrect.
So we can verify that false. The U.S. government never directly funded the Taliban, but they did support the Mujahideen fighters in the 1980s. With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozlov.
Welcome back to DBL. We love sharing your comments. What do we have, Tori?
All right. Well, one person spoke to Jeff. This is Shelly. Jeff. Shelly
to Jeff.
Jeff said people listen to all leaders, and I don't think that's true because I don't think a lot of people will listen to their political leaders. What do you think about that?
I think she needs to be quiet and listen more to me.
And then,
hey, but thanks for watching.
We're going to just move on to the next comment. Joe says that guy passing the note is odd to me. I think he should mind his own business. I don't know. I always like a little help. But I'm a Yenta. If you don't know what that means in Yiddish, it's like, let me find you someone. Let me help you out.
I would have appreciated it. Yeah. I would have appreciated it. But I would think that if she had such a stark point of view on the baby, given that it was really homophobic.
Stop saying his name like that. You're saying that like a mom.
Da baby.
I know, but
I'm a mom of two.
I know.
How am I supposed to say it?
Say it cool.
Well, it's not. You're saying da baby.
Okay.
The baby.
The baby.
Just say it. You don't have to prepare for it 5 minutes before time.
I can't handle it. If you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show online.
Hip hop.
Stop it. I like hip hop. Stop. Watch on YouTube, dailyblastlive.com, or on our DBL mobile app. But if you're sticking around, here is what's coming up. Paris Hilton's huge wedding plans featuring a 3-day event with 10 outfit changes. Does this make her a Bridezilla? And Carrie Underwood takes heat for an anti-mask tweet she liked. Can she still be, or can you rather, still be a fan if your political views do not align?
Flummoxed, confused, perplexed. There's a saying for what we're feeling. It's all Greek to me. But when it comes to variants, Greek needn't bewilder. Why? Because we no longer have to call this variant B.1.1.7 or this one B.1.617.2. We can just call this Alpha and this one Delta. Yep, just like in the Greek alphabet. Alpha, Beta, Gamma, Delta. Each is what the CDC calls a variant of concern. Alpha first showed up in the United Kingdom, Beta in South Africa, Gamma in Brazil, and Delta in India. Let's talk that one. Why? Because we know it's very contagious. Consider what's known as an R0, or average number of unprotected people a virus typically infects. Seasonal influenza, remember that? The CDC says it generally has an R0 of 1. Basically, every person who gets it will typically infect one other person. The original version of SARS-CoV-2, aka the virus that causes COVID-19, had an R0 of 1.5 to 3, according to the CDC. Infectious, yes, as infectious as, let's say, the swine flu. But as SARS-CoV-2 infected millions, it evolved, mutated. Some mutations were inconsequential, some were not. Case in point, the mutations that led to the Delta variant. Smallpox is very contagious. It has an R0 of around 5. The Delta variant of SARS-CoV-2, anywhere between 5 and 9. That's almost in chickenpox territory. And remember, COVID is more deadly than that. Then there's measles, one of the most contagious viruses on the planet. It has an R0 of around 12. Good thing is, we rarely have measles outbreaks in the U.S. Why? You know why. Back to Delta. Maybe this still is, as we say, all Greek to you. But as you consider what it means to you, don't forget just how contagious Delta really is. Honestly, it's nothing to sneeze at.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
Welcome to DBL. Let's get started. Okay, so the social media mob is coming for Carrie Underwood. The singer recently liked a Twitter video posted by conservative commentator Matt Walsh. In the post, he says he's against masks in schools. Now, some of Carrie's own fans are coming for her. One fan says, so Carrie Underwood is an anti-masker. Jesus, take the wheel indeed. Another fan said, Carrie Underwood is an anti-masker. She's canceled in my book. So here's the question, what we need to talk about. Is Carrie going to be canceled? And can you remain a fan when someone says something that is against your beliefs? What would you do? What do you think, Tori?
With masks, for me, and this is personal, when you disagree about masks and there's scientific evidence that proves that they are safe, we are no longer disagreeing with each other. You are now rejecting data. I have really no interest in following up a conversation with you. Sorry, I really don't.
What about playing their song in your car?
Now,
separating the art from the artist.
Exactly. Now, Pablo Picasso, who I love and did a huge story, was a womanizer and put cigarettes out on women. He was a jerk. But people love Picasso. So it's always like, do we care about the art or the artist? This will make me think differently of Carrie Underwood. Yes.
Let's stay on Carrie Underwood, because we could go down a bunch of different avenues on this one. Yesterday, we were talking about letting people express their beliefs, whether it be politically or whatever. And you said, yes, I'm all for that.
Of course.
But I said, no, you cannot express your beliefs, because if you don't agree with the mob, in this case, like we said at the top.
The mob, by the way, are scientists and doctors here.
Okay, but you don't know her beliefs. You're assuming that she's a Trumper and that because she's country.
I'm assuming she says she doesn't like masks.
She liked a tweet. She did not put anything out in her own words. She liked a tweet. I said at the beginning of the show, I don't think a 2-year-old needs to wear a mask regarding my own kids. I don't think he's going to keep it on. I don't think it's going to be effective. She liked the tweet.
No offense to you, but you don't have the platform of Carrie Underwood. She has a much bigger platform.
But you don't know what she's saying. She
says a lot by liking that tweet. That says a lot,
But
Jeff.
what about your statement yesterday when you said you're allowed to say whatever you want? You're for the Constitution about freedom of speech.
She can say whatever she wants, and she has consequences that I might not like her anymore. Both can be true.
But you're proving my point. You're canceling people based on their opinion without having a conversation, and you just said right now, I will not have a conversation about it.
Absolutely canceling is different. And I absolutely think what you're not hearing me say is, I think she can say whatever she wants, but I also get the right and the freedom of speech to dislike what she said, and therefore there's consequences.
Canceling?
I didn't say canceling. I said I'm going to think differently of Carrie Underwood. Now, here's a big deal. She didn't just say something or like something. She liked an anti-mask at the height of a pandemic when it's killing people. That's a big, big mark for me, and that's going to be a big difference for us. And yeah, I am going to be.
And listen, I'm for the vaccine. I'm vaccinated.
Would you
I just want to put it out
that
there.
Was like anti-mask.
I'm for people getting their opinions across. Not whatever it may be. In this case, it's masks. I want to hear from the other side. I want to know, why don't you like masks? Why aren't you vaccinated? Why aren't you for the Black Lives Matter protests? I don't want to cancel those people. I want to hear them out and hear why they feel that way. You, in your own words, just said, I will not have a conversation with you. I am against that fully.
Okay.
Final thought, Tori.
Final thought, I'm sorry, very quickly, is that there's a difference between Black Lives Matter and theories and science. And when you disagree with science, you're rejecting data. And for me, that's the line for me. That's the line.
Good conversation, you two. That was a conversation.
Too hard about that knuckle bump, though. You had it right, and then you like looked at it.
I went too hard.
No. It was good, though.
Because you're not just shake it off. Shake it off.
You did go. That was all you. I was waiting for it.
And I was like, hey, you.
It was a little aggressive. I was a little aggressive.
All right, so it's a few that just won't die. Not these two. It looks like Cattrall is throwing shade at her former Sex and the City co-stars. So yesterday, the actress shared a post where she's cradling her co-star, a dog named Pixel, from her TV show Sensitive Skin. In the caption, she wrote, "When your co-star is a real dog." Some say Kim's post could be in retaliation for a recent post by Sarah Jessica Parker. Over the weekend, SJP posted a series of Sex and the City photos with her new cast member, Nicole Ari Parker. So there's been rumors of tension between Kim and SJP for years now, and those rumors were cemented earlier this summer when it was announced that Kim is not going to be part of the upcoming Sex and the City reboot. Are people digging too into this, Al?
No.
You think that was straight up shade?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I think she was calling her a name that we will never mention on daytime television. And I look at this situation and I'm like, you have to do one of two things. Either go on Red Table Talk, you hash it out with the ladies, uncensored, get everything out in the open, or you put this down, because we're coming up on 20, 25 years of this beef, and no matter what happens, time is supposed to heal those wounds. So either they can be healed, so let's make something that would be visually interesting to go see people trying to come back together, or drop it. But we can't have this like every year and a half you say something that kind of
What if we're reading into it, though? What if their beef, they were able, I mean, we all have people in our lives that we were able to say, okay, you served a purpose in my life at one period, right? We were both like-minded at that time. We were both really good friends. And then all of a sudden, we've evolved and we're no longer friends, or there's boundaries. But why did we have to assume that we're digging up beef between the two of them?
Me and Al were talking about this before the show. I thought maybe, let bygones be bygones. I thought maybe she was just posting something about her own show. Al convinced me otherwise.
Really?
Yeah. I feel like you wouldn't go so specific with your dog
the day after.
with everything going on with Sex and the City.
But the post just happened, and then you respond so specifically with that post. Yeah. It feels a little coincidental.
That's a little sub-tweety.
I feel like it. I hate to be that person, but I feel like it too.
No, that's Al stirring the pot, let me tell you.
Al's very convincing.
She didn't do their famous reunion movie. They don't like each other.
They don't. Doesn't mean that every single post is a jab at one another.
If you're wearing a three-piece suit, you carry a lot more weight.
Exactly.
I believe anything else.
Do you want your loan here at Chase or not?
Al needs a monocle. Hello.
Okay, so do you guys think that Paris Hilton is going to be a Bridezilla? That's what some people are saying after she went on Jimmy Fallon to talk about her upcoming wedding. So here's a quick look.
Are you in the planning stages now?
Yes, we are planning everything. It's very stressful.
It's a lot of stuff. Have you picked out a dress?
Yes, that's basically the only thing that I've done.
Yeah. It's a lot of stuff, though.
It's a lot. But I'm not a Bridezilla at all.
No, I didn't think you would be, though. I think that you would have this under control.
Paris says her wedding will be a 3-day event with about 10 outfit changes. She also is going to be documenting the wedding for her show on Peacock, saying she's happy to show her fans her fairy tale wedding. Tori, is this Bridezilla-esque or no?
Can I be honest about Paris Hilton? I really like her, but she's not funny. She doesn't do anything for me. She's like kind of like.
So how much do you really like her?
Carson Daly to me. There's a little cardboard vanilla. I need a little something else.
What? She's a personality.
Name 3 things she kind of gives.
She's a personality.
How?
She is
She
the
doesn't
height
have
of
one.
glamour. She's from a super rich family, and she wants to show off with a 3-day wedding.
Are you guys really stuck on the Paris Hilton from the 90s? What about the Paris Hilton in the last year, where we
with
saw
the
become an
transparency.
advocate, an activist, more TV shows that she's completely sold on her own?
Don't throw you guys into Tori's anti-Paris
I'm not
rhetoric.
anti-Paris. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I find her really. I love her advocacy. I've just always found her a bit like, huh. I'm just never like.
You don't think that there's just attractive people that are rich that a lot of people stare at, look at their life, wish they were theirs?
I feel like it's boring.
It's Instagram.
But you're saying it's boring. Her job is to be decadent. That's what she does. We've had people on ours. Little Richard was like that. Liberal Rothschild. Some people do everything extra. We can't all have like a wedding at a VFW hall. Somebody got to shake it up. Good for her.
I agree. If you've seen her cooking show, have you seen it? She puts glitter in everything.
That's insane.
Glitter?
Edible glitter in everything.
Oh, well, don't say edible glitter like you know. What? I just...
You said that some people are supposed to be extra.
Yes. Listen, let's get back to the Bridezilla thing. How could you even say in the same sentence that you're having a 3-day wedding and that you're not a Bridezilla?
You could be.
No, I
In
would
Hindu
marry
culture, they do 3-day weddings.
No.
It doesn't mean that you're a bridezilla.
No. If my wife wanted a 3-day wedding, I would not get married. I'm not even joking. I would say, are you out of your mind? 3 days of marriage?
It is
no.
Culturally, though.
I'm not going to a 3-day wedding. I'm not even going to be part of that. I'm out.
Let's be honest, though. 3 days, when you really think about it.
Exhausting.
Well, of course, but most weddings nowadays, you have like that dinner before.
Yeah, the
rehearsal
wedding and the
dinner.
brunch.
Then you have the wedding, and then the day after, you have the brunch. So what's different about it?
Nightmare.
No.
That's what people do.
Yeah, they sure do have brunch, and you have to sort of pay for that brunch too
I don't
now.
like
Now it's become
brunch
part of the
anymore.
wedding. You're absolutely right.
I don't want to go to your brunch so I can watch you drink in the morning. I don't care. Like, just drink in the morning like a real alcoholic. Stop acting like this is about breakfast.
You guys the thing about brunch and drinking. It's
You're not a
fair.
big fan of the brunch.
No.
I know it's bottomless mimosas. It's too much.
Yeah, no one ever talks about the eggs.
Now it's
That's
too much?
interesting.
I think bottomless mimosas is too much. When you're a parent,
We're
how
off
you-
the wedding thing?
Yeah, I'm off the wedding thing.
Oh, okay.
I'm back on a bottomless mimosas. How are you supposed to
I think the
parent when
Bloody
you're tired?
Marys is the biggest ripoff because no one can have that much tomato juice. You can only have 2.
Somebody laughed in the booth.
Yeah.
I feel like Tori should weigh in
Who
on
wants
this.
I enjoy
belly
it.
full of tomato juice?
I'm fine with it. I like
Too
it.
acidic.
No one's fine with tomato juice.
Okay, V8 hater.
I like a good V8.
More than 2?
Okay, coming up on
No.
DBL.
Okay.
Coming up on DBL. An all-new true crime chronicles a woman is convinced police got the wrong man in her mother's murder. How she's still searching for answers 30 years later.
Closed captioning provided by
Hi, DBL Nation. Kelly Schubert here with Tori. Tori, you got a comment?
Al called her a substitute art teacher, by the way, which was a great call for this look. Someone wrote to us and said, Jeff and Tori together are good TV, loud, but very good TV.
There we go.
I just wanted to clarify, too. I find asking people to follow up on, like, Black Lives Matter, religion, philosophy, theories is super different than, again, the mask problem. To me, that's very black and white. It's very scientific. The Dr. Coley has come on and told me it is very effective, one of the most effective ways. To me, I can't further have a conversation with you if you're rejecting that data. We don't have a lot to talk
What
about.
if they don't know the data like you do? What if you have an opportunity?
Then don't reject it if you don't know enough about it.
But
But you
how
have
do you
to
know
have that
that by
conversation.
liking
That's
a
what the-
tweet, though?
But Carrie Underwood, by liking that,
endorses it.
And she has such a big platform that everyone will follow that like. That's an enormous following. Country music fans, people in the South,
But
people
what if
in
you
rural
could
areas.
convince otherwise?
The issue to me is if you're not convinced by a doctor, I'm not going to convince you. You're not interested in science. I don't have anything to
But do
say
you guys
to
see
you.
this as a bigger problem of like we know too much about everything?
Yeah,
I think
I
in
know
the
what you mean.
80s and 90s, like I don't know who Lionel Richie voted for
Yeah,
president.
yeah,
You could just
yeah.
enjoy
What's
their
up with you
music.
and Lionel
But
Richie?
now everybody.
You said your example
That's the
for
first time I've said
everything.
his name.
No, you've said it 3 times now.
When?
He said
The last
Liberace.
two stories.
No, he
Liberace
said
Lionel Richie
I said-
before.
no,
Little
I
Rich
said
and
Liberace.
Richie. No, you didn't.
I
No,
said-
he didn't
Little
say
Richard.
Richie.
I said,
Oh, you said Little Richie.
yeah.
You said 3 times.
3 times.
I love Lionel Richie. I'm sorry.
So it was 0.
Any black man from the 80s should just hear Lionel Richie. Lionel Richie.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen that?
Stevie
pop
Wonder, you
that
mean
has
Lionel Richie? Stevie Wonder?
Hello, is it me you're looking for? Have you seen that?
Yes.
Shout Shout out to Little Richard.
Have you seen that cup? It says, "Hello, is it tea you're looking for?" And it's got Lionel Richie on it. There's a tea mug. Did I quiet the set?
Dude, we had a good thing going on.
DBL Nation, let us know. Can you separate the art from the artist? Bye.
Welcome back to DBL. Who really killed Effie Antazari? It's been more than 30 years since she was murdered, and her daughter is on a quest to find out once and for all who would want to kill her mother. That's in today's True Crime Chronicles.
She had a life, and someone took that away.
Pune Gray will never forget May 1st, 1989. Her life would forever be altered in ways she would never have imagined.
There has not been one day that's gone by since my mom's murder that I haven't thought about her and this case.
Pune's mother, Effie Antazari, left for work like she had done so many mornings before. It was just before 6 a.m. She was approached by someone in the parking lot and shot in the head at point-blank range. A neighbor reported seeing a yellow car speed out of the parking lot shortly after Effie's murder. No other witnesses reported anything to the authorities.
This was a premeditated, highly calculating homicide.
A man was arrested and charged with the murder of Effie. That man just happened to be Mike Antazari, Effie's husband and Pune's father. Mike and Effie were going through a divorce. Mike had no alibi, and worse yet, a gun, the same type of gun that killed Effie, was found in Mike's car. A jury found him guilty of the murder of his wife. He ended up serving 16 years of a 25-year sentence behind bars until his death in 2019. Mike had always maintained his innocence.
It was not a fact-based trial. It was just a lot of smoke and mirrors.
Pune hired a team of lawyers, private investigators, forensic examiners in an attempt to find the real killer or killers. She will never stop fighting for justice and exonerating her father. Pune wants to know once and for all who killed Effie Antazari. They point to a lack of physical evidence against Mike Antazari. Mike didn't drive a yellow car like the one seen speeding away from the scene. And investigators never found evidence of Effie's blood on Mike's clothing or in the barrel of his gun. Pune believes one of the biggest pieces of evidence that could alter this case is DNA. Samples found on Effie's clothes years after her murder, thanks to DNA advancements.
There was a mixture. There were multiple individuals' DNA on the sweater and the DNA that was collected. The predominant DNA that we found is from the person who we believe is the shooter.
Will this new DNA evidence be the smoking gun of this case 32 years later? Will Pune be able to overturn her father's conviction and keep the promise she made to her mother? Will there ever be closure?
I've never had a doubt that I'm going to get the person that killed my mom.
A daughter's love for her mother knows no bounds. This story is truly heartbreaking. Earlier, Al and I spoke with the podcast host for the latest on this case. Take a look. And we are here with the Yellow Car podcast host, Ashley Korslin. Ashley, by the way, is also an award-winning journalist and longtime KGW anchor. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to DBL.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to be here to talk about the case.
Why did you think that this was a good topic, that this case specifically would be a good fit for your podcast?
Well, the case itself is compelling, but honestly, I would say it was Pune, the couple's daughter, at the center of this case. We are talking about someone who spent 32 years of her own life working on her mom's murder investigation, despite the fact that her dad went to prison. And the fact that she has spent more than $1 million, close to $2 million at this point, on a team of lawyers and investigators, to me was really compelling. And I thought, you know, there must be something else here if she hasn't been able to let this go 3 decades later.
Wow. Right. Well, speaking about 3 decades later, if this same case happened today, what do you think would happen?
I would think, at the very least, the investigation perhaps would have been done differently when you think about advancements in DNA technology that we have today that we didn't have. Back in 1989, DNA was in its infancy. Today, there would also be a lot of things done differently, I believe, with ballistics and how they examine and compare an evidence bullet to a gun. Now, as for the verdict and the outcome, it's hard to say what the evidence would have shown and whether a jury still would have convicted Mike.
Speaking of Mike Antazari, why was he found guilty?
I believe came down to the ballistics portion. When you have a state ballistics expert saying this bullet was fired from this gun, Mike's gun, to me, that's what really sealed the deal for the jury.
Panay found some strange occurrences leading up to her mother's death. You know, maybe that's why she hasn't been able to let this go. So can you tell our audience what were they?
Yeah, so when Effie and Mike were separated, Effie had lived in her own apartment complex at the time of her death, and neighbors had eventually reported to police that there were some really strange occurrences, fights in her apartment at odd hours of the night, unknown men who were there. Effie seemed upset. The most striking thing was perhaps the medical examiner, when they did the autopsy, found bruising all over Effie's body, and the bruising had been there for some time, so that meant it was unrelated to the murder. Things that you couldn't really explain, and Mike was never tied to any of that activity. The daughter, Pune, goes, look, my mom was being threatened. Somebody wanted to silence her. She knew something, and people were hurting her. And that's the thread line throughout this series that really kept her going, is that there were just too many strange things happening to just explain away that my dad killed my mom.
Wow, Ashley, I just pray that your podcast, her and her 3 decades worth of research, somehow provides answers for her. How likely is it that prosecutors will reopen this case?
The sheriff's office did confirm to me they do have a detective actively working this case. So that to me was a little peek behind the curtain on, okay, they're looking into this. It's not like they're just brushing it off. I think at this point they're not able to speak publicly about what they have discovered and what they're going to do moving forward.
Wow. Unbelievable. I really do hope that they reopen the case, just personally. Ashley, thank you so much for being on DBL's True Crime Chronicles and for bringing this case to light. You can check out DBL Nation, The Yellow Car on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever else you get your podcasts. Make sure that you listen. And thank you again, Ashley. We'll be right back.
Thanks, you guys, for having me. Appreciate it.
Attention.
Thursday on DBL, Bravo star Lisa Vanderpump will be here live. How does she feel about becoming a grandma? That's Thursday on DBL. DBL is your daytime destination.
I get very excited.
I was excited with you.
Okay, thank you.
We are fired up. I am feeling very disagreeable. Educate yourself.
Though I got to push back because sometimes...
No, I won't accept that.
Check that. And having fun.
You have 2 straws and a strawberry shake.
I felt it in my heart and in my soul.
What's Jeff thinking?
I don't want to get canceled.
DBL's all new every day. Welcome back to DBL. Did you know that your vaccine status could affect your income? So we're going to chat about it in today's Bang for Your Buck, presented by The Hartford. To cover health costs, more and more companies are considering charging higher insurance premiums for their unvaccinated staff. This means your employer could pocket an extra $50 per paycheck if you're unvaccinated. That's an extra $1,300 each year. So this is one of the many reasons why you should talk to your doctor about getting vaccinated against COVID-19. And for quality and affordable insurance, the Buck's got your back. The Hartford will be happy to provide you solutions. Call the Hartford at 1-800-684-6085 or visit thehartford.com to learn more. Does that surprise you, Al?
You've got to do something to make people do things that they might not want to do. You have to incentivize them. Just like a parking ticket incentivizes you not to park on the street on Tuesdays, maybe this is what you need. Some people, $1,000 a year is a lot.
I think it's a bottom line, too. They don't want to have to be responsible for all of your hospital bills, God forbid, if you contracted COVID,
That's right?
Amen. All right, we'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
The Verify team is here to make sure that you're only getting the facts when it comes to the recent events in Afghanistan. Take posts like this. The U.S. funded, trained, and armed Taliban to fight the Soviets, wrote one person. So let's verify. Did the U.S. government directly fund the Taliban? Here are our sources. Benjamin Hopkins, a professor of history at the George Washington University. Charles Dunbar, a retired ambassador who worked in Afghanistan in the 80s for the State Department. Mike Lyons, a military analyst. And this report from the Congressional Research Service.
There are linkages, but it's not a direct line.
According to Hopkins, in December of 1979, the Soviet Union sent troops to Afghanistan to protect a communist government. Those troops remained in the country for a decade. Hopkins says that in response, the CIA began sending money through the Pakistani government to the Mujahideen, a group of Islamic militants that were fighting the Soviets. It was deemed Operation Cyclone.
That Operation Cyclone started out very small until finally to the point where it was literally billions and billions of dollars.
This was confirmed by a Congressional Research Service report stating that a total of about $3 billion was given to the Mujahideen from 1980 to 1989, according to the State Department. So how does the Taliban play into all this? Well, according to our experts, the group first began to form in 1994, so money never went directly to the Taliban.
There is a story of Americans arming an anti-Soviet insurgency, some of whom then go on to become part of what will be the Taliban.
Some U.S. funds went to supporting the Mujahideen, who had generally the same point of view as the Taliban.
But any sort of direct linkage, U.S. arming the Mujahideen in the 1980s supports the Taliban in the 2000s, is incorrect.
So we can verify that false. The U.S. government never directly funded the Taliban, but they did support the Mujahideen fighters in the 1980s. With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozlov.
Tomorrow on DBL, Bravo star Lisa Vanderpump will be here live. How does she feel about becoming a grandma? That's tomorrow on DBL.
Thanks for clarifying.
To DBL. We love sharing your comments. Tori, what do we got?
All right, first I want to call out Mickey because I didn't call her out earlier. I'm so sorry. And Michelle wrote, these hosts crack me up with their bickering. I'm old. I don't do Twitter or Insta, but I enjoy the show. I take my lunch hour at 2 o'clock every day to watch them in Georgia. Keep up the great show.
Shout out to Georgia.
I know. I love a lot of people take their lunch hour with us.
Nice.
Huh?
Yes, we can annoy them in the break room. A lot of people also watch us at the gym, which is good. Yes.
Nail salons too.
We can see. You got. No, I like your nails.
Thank
They're very
you.
Halloween-y.
Is that free?
DBL's new every day. What did he say?
Flummoxed, confused, perplexed. There's a saying for what we're feeling. It's all Greek to me. But when it comes to variants, Greek needn't bewilder. Why? Because we no longer have to call this variant B.1.1.7 or this one B.1.617.2. We can just call this Alpha and this one Delta. Yep, just like in the Greek alphabet. Alpha, Beta, Gamma, Delta. Each is what the CDC calls a variant of concern. Alpha first showed up in the United Kingdom, Beta in South Africa, Gamma in Brazil, and Delta in India. Let's talk that one. Why? Because we know it's very contagious. Consider what's known as an R0, or average number of unprotected people a virus typically infects. Seasonal influenza, remember that? The CDC says it generally has an R0 of 1. Basically, every person who gets it will typically infect one other person. The original version of SARS-CoV-2, aka the virus that causes COVID-19, had an R0 of 1.5 to 3, according to the CDC. Infectious, yes, as infectious as, let's say, the swine flu. But as SARS-CoV-2 infected millions, it evolved, mutated. Some mutations were inconsequential, some were not. Case in point, the mutations that led to the Delta variant. Smallpox is very contagious. It has an R0 of around 5. The Delta variant of SARS-CoV-2, anywhere between 5 and 9. That's almost in chickenpox territory. And remember, COVID is more deadly than that. Then there's measles, one of the most contagious viruses on the planet. It has an R0 of around 12. Good thing is, we rarely have measles outbreaks in the U.S. Why? You know why. Back to Delta. Maybe this still is, as we say, all Greek to you. But as you consider what it means to you, don't forget just how contagious Delta really is. Honestly, it's nothing to sneeze at.
Here's what we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
The debate over masks in schools is heating up as parents are outraged over their district's decisions. Are the kids just stuck in the middle? A woman gets stunned on a first date when a stranger passes her a note. Why did he tell her to run? In today's True Crime Chronicles, a daughter seeks answers in her mother's murder 30 years later.
There has not been one day that's gone by since my mom's murder that I haven't thought about her and this case.
Was the wrong person arrested? And is Kim Cattrall throwing major shade at Sarah Jessica Parker? The reason fans are freaking out right now.
Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
Welcome to DBL. It is Wednesday, August 18th. I'm Sam here with Al, Jeff, and Tori. Let's get started. Wow, the war over face masks has arrived at schools across the country. Now, the superintendent at an Austin school district said that one parent ripped a teacher's mask off her face. He said other parents yelled and verbally assaulted teachers. And in California, one parent allegedly yelled at the principal and then assaulted a teacher over mask requirements. All right, so DBL Nation, we got to hear from you on this. How do you feel about schools and teachers becoming targets in the mask wars? Is this fair, Tori, to teachers and students?
Nothing is ever fair to teachers. We make teachers do everything. Now they're getting assaulted over masks because they want to save their lives. This is so silly. So to any teacher out there, you're not getting paid enough, and I'm just sorry that we make you like take down a gun shooter and also have to protect yourself against like masks, assaulters. All of this is stupid. Masks have become politicized. They're a piece of cloth. They save lives. There's no reason for it. Republican or Democrat, in 1918, we all wore masks because of the Spanish flu. We don't have the Spanish flu anymore. Here's a picture of the cops wearing it in 1918. It would say, wear your gauze or go to jail. This isn't new. This isn't rocket science. It's actually the most basic form of protection. So I'm sorry that we're going to have to continue with masks, but let's not get violent. I mean, really.
I think when we talk about these stories, we have to understand the percentages we're talking about, and it's less than 1% of insane people that do something like this. I'm vaccinated. I don't know if I have to preface that. I think I do nowadays. But my kids, their first day of preschool was today, and we just got an email. I remember there they are this morning, and I remember. I was talking about this maybe earlier this week or late last week about that they didn't have to wear masks. We just got an email this morning saying starting on August 23rd, they will now have to wear masks from 2 years old to 11 years old. That means my youngest, who's 2, has to wear a mask. I'm not happy about that. I don't think he needs to wear a mask. I believe it might stunt him some way, even though we had Dr. Coley on who told, I have my own concerns. At no point my thought process that I feel like I needed to go to the school and rip a teacher's mask off of her face. Yeah. That's insanity.
Al, you were a teacher.
Yes.
What would you have done if this happened when you were teaching?
You know, people wouldn't come for me like that, but I think that people come for the teachers that they know that they can because they know that there's not going to be any repercussions. We can yell at teachers. I was disrespected multiple times at parent-teacher conferences, and it's just a thing in our society where we say that we love our teachers, we say that we love our frontline workers, but remember, as soon as something went down, what do we see? Clips of Pizza Hut employees getting yelled at, clips of Target employees getting yelled at. We tend to put these people on a pedestal, but it's not real because as soon as something goes wrong, those are the first people we go after.
Yeah.
I really quickly just want to go back to you because we have new information from the CDC saying that protection against COVID from vaccines has declined. Therefore, we all are going to need a booster. So does that make you want your kids to mask up even more, that protection's declined?
It's not even about the mask so much. It's just about how do you get a 2-year-old to put that on, right? I'm not talking about what we need in the future as adults. I'm just, how do you put a 2-year-old in a mask? That's my problem. Going back to your question, I have no problem with the boost. Do I have questions before I get it? Or do I need some answers? Have Dr. Coley up here? Of course. But a rational conversation, not insanity to the point where I'm stapling things to a piece of wood and running around the neighborhood instead of going to work.
Got it.
Wow. Got it.
I totally think that your point is valid.
Yeah,
you can disagree without going and abusing a teacher.
Yeah.
I'm with you. All right, so last night was the first night that people in New York City were required to show proof of vaccination in order to go out to eat indoors, go to the gym, or visit a museum. Meantime, the Las Vegas Raiders are now requiring fans at their home games to show proof of vaccination. So these requirements are reportedly helping fuel a black market, of course, in fake or forged vaccination cards. Speaking of which, check out these fake vaccination cards that border agents seized after they were shipped from China. There were thousands of them. And in Chicago, a pharmacist has been charged with selling real vaccination cards on eBay that were allegedly stolen from his work. Tori, you were just shaking your head.
I'm very concerned about this, because I don't think the vaccination cards are that hard to fake. First off, I thought we'd have a holographic something, an inner code or digitize something. I feel like it's a number 2 pencil and like a piece of napkin that we have. So one, I'd love to see an updated vaccination card. And number 2, it's not just silly that they're getting the vaccination cards. Al said it well, too, and I want you to go back. If you feel like you're in a place where everyone's vaccinated and you feel okay to take your mask off and you're lying, you're actually assaulting me with a deadly weapon. Because if you're carrying that, you could spread that to everyone. There needs to be an enormous penalty or a fine for that, because it isn't just, oh, it's a fake ID card. A fake ID card isn't contagious. You are. That's a different story.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I lived in Florida, there was a famous case where this gentleman successfully sued a bar that he was at because they allowed an underage girl to go in there. They had consensual sex, and he was then brought up on statutory rape charges. But his defense was, I'm assuming that everybody in here is 21 because that's what that's what you have to do to get in here. So now we're not only talking about people that are liable in terms of their health, but also businesses. And really, let's be honest, this is a capitalistic society, and that's what people unfortunately really care about. So we're going to have businesses that are going to be really cracking down on this, as well as people.
But to the flip side to that, I was watching the news, and I forgot if it was in New York or Louisiana. I forget which one. But they were putting this on the restaurant owners to enforce this, right? And the business owners were saying, I don't know about these cards. I don't know what's real or not. I know how to make a pizza or make pasta. I can't enforce this. This isn't my job, right? So how are we putting this job on restaurant and business owners
It's going to be bumpy in the beginning. It's new.
Bumpy? How is that going to ever iron out?
At
It's
first,
never going to ever iron out.
It will. It'll be on a QR code on your phone at some point. That's what in Amsterdam it already is.
What about people that don't use QR codes on their phone?
Yeah,
I can imagine trying to explain to my late father what a QR code is and how to download it on his phone.
We went to dinner with my
kick me out of the
father-in-law,
house.
and he goes, here's your menu, and it was a QR code, and he goes, what are you kidding?
Yeah.
I just experienced that last night, but I don't want to shame the person that I went to dinner with. All right, speaking of the vaccine, the Pope is encouraging everyone to get vaccinated. Can you believe it? In a newly released video, Pope Francis said, quote, being vaccinated is an act of love. He also called it a moral obligation to get the shot. Jeff, do you think that people are going to listen to religious leaders? You do.
I think they do. I think they listen to any leaders, not just religious. I think they listen to their favorite pop star, their favorite movie star. That's why people come out and say, vote for my guy, right? Because people listen. Unfortunately, people out there, and they can't formulate their own opinion. Let's just be honest. They cannot. So if somebody that they look up to, that they've known their whole life and believe in and trust, their word is the gospel.
I must say, I'm not Catholic, but this, I know the amount of presence and what his reputation and platform gives, bless you. But I will tell you this will save millions of lives, because some Catholics are concerned about where the Pope fell on this, because he said, okay, millions of lives saved. Honestly, this is a big, big deal.
You missed the correlation between the Pope and then you said, bless you. You know what I mean? You missed it. You dropped it.
I'm
You dropped it.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
Coming up on DBL, if you missed this interview when we aired it during the Summer Games, don't worry, we have an encore presentation today. We talked with a woman who tells us what it's like living inside the Tower of London. Is it really haunted? And Kim Cattrall's latest Instagram post has fans wondering if she's throwing some subtle shade. Was it really a dig at Sarah Jessica Parker? Plus, the story behind this note. A woman on a first date was given by a stranger. Why did the fellow diner feel the need to warn her?
Closed captioning provided by
Tiffany's still catching on to our humor.
All right, so we are introducing Tiffany, just so you know, to Jeff and I's humor as we make fun of each other. Many people who are new are like, are they really hating on each other? I don't know, and I'm uncomfortable. So that's where we left Tiffany. We apologize to the camerawoman. Are you doing okay? Okay, not the camera. There we go. Okay.
I can't believe you missed the bless you joke.
I can't believe that either.
It was like right there.
Can I be honest?
I didn't know why you laughed.
Me?
The bless you joke.
Because she's like, oh, the Pope, and then you said bless you, and I was like, she's going there.
You don't
and
understand.
she missed it.
Are you surprised the Pope did it? 1 to 10, how surprised are you the Pope did it?
No, I don't. I
That's
think
a pretty big step, you guys.
Well,
for
listen,
the Pope
I don't.
to do so.
This is why I'm not surprised. I think the Pope genuinely has people's health and good interest, and I don't think he has a political agenda when he says that, even though people will attach a political agenda to what he's saying. I think the Pope wants the best for people, and if it means wearing a mask, if that helps not spread the disease in some sort of way, I think he's for helping people.
I'm glad
I don't think there's a political attachment to it.
Yeah.
That's a massive amount of people.
Enormous.
Right, and I think he wants the best, and I think that's a way, maybe not 100%, but it does protect you in some sort of way.
He does. Someone wrote us, and I want to get to the comments you guys said. Singing Mary wrote, I will say in regards to the masks in the public school setting, it has made it close to impossible to run a music program because no singing, there's no instruments, and only in place movement. I didn't think about that. So it takes out an enormous amount of parts of the arts and crafts of the school, which is, I think, an enormous and imperative part of learning and education.
Would you like it in some way, because you said you're kind of like insecure, like going to school and growing up. Does the mask on your first day of school kind of help that first day?
Sometimes that mask I like. I like the mask because when I get shy or insecure, and some people say this, you get to hide.
You should have more of a bag.
You see, Tiffany's like, get us out of here.
See you about that.
Welcome back to DBL. You'll never guess what a woman who was on a date got what she got from a random stranger. So it was a note. written on a CVS receipt, or maybe one of those really long, like, printouts
The
that come out.
longest ever.
Right, you could write a story on those. Well, anyways, the note reads, "Too many red flags, run, be safe, girl." The woman tweeted the picture saying it was given to her by a gay man sitting behind her. She also said she noticed the red flags too, but didn't feel like she was in danger. Ooh, have you ever passed a note if you were, Tori, worried about someone on a date?
No, but I 100% would. And here's the two things I would do. One, if I really did think this guy was, or girl was causing danger, I would say something or slip a note. I'm someone that, as a woman, I would take help from anyone. If someone's giving you a nod or in a parking lot, come with me, I'll walk you to your car. I'll take any help. It's scary out there. But two, if they talk badly about the person when they go to the bathroom, or if they're rude to the waiter, I would just be like, heads up. Not my type. That's how I would do it. I know I'm pushy. I'm a little bit Jewy in your face about it. I know that, a little nosy, but I want to help a person out. I
If
really
someone
do.
was rude to the waiter and they went to the bathroom, you would intrude on that date and say, hey.
I know, if they were rude to the waiter and then they went to the bathroom, I'd look over, and I'd be like, mm-mm.
What if
you're rude to the waiter 6 months, that's how you're treating the partner.
Does it matter, Jeff, that this was a coffee date?
She so would not do that.
I bet she would.
I think she would.
Does it matter that this was a coffee date, not a dinner date? Because dinner dates are
That's
late
a
at
good question.
night. This is during the day. There's a lot of people around. Does that factor in or no?
No, but you know what does factor in? And I checked with Michael Dean on the side. Coming from a gay man and coming from a straight man are two different things. If a straight man goes
This
to me,
is true.
hey, watch out for this. It'd be like Tori telling me, who's this crazy person behind me? And then if a gay man told me, I'd be like, it just carries more weight with me. I'd be like, huh.
Well, you know that he doesn't have
He's
any,
onto
like,
something there.
Yeah, he doesn't have any skin in the game.
No
He doesn't
agenda,
have-
no
but,
agenda.
you know, I do, and I have, you know, it's interesting, Sam, when everybody's talking, I thought about a situation, I'm not going to say the country, but some of my buddies were on a bus on an island nation.
Oh.
And we were like, let's get away from the resorts. We don't want to be these tourists. Let's go see the people. And we're on the bus, and we're about to get off at the stop, and the bus driver goes, if you get off the bus, they're going to slit your throat. Like, said it, like, to me and my boys, and we were like, sat right back down and took our American behinds right back to the, right back, right, yeah,
That's
but
a
it's
good
like,
lookout.
we listened.
Right.
You
Did
know?
you guys know what their conversation was?
Yeah, something about DaBaby.
Yes. The two were loudly disagreeing about DaBaby. If you guys remember DaBaby, what he said, he had a homophobic rant about AIDS, and it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Not only the inaccuracy of it, but how it came off homophobic. So they were debating whether or not that was homophobic or not.
Ooh.
How does that come up on a first date?
Yeah.
You should be like, hey, do you have any brothers? Yeah.
What's it say?
What?
Give
What are you
it to me.
talking about?
What does it say?
No, it doesn't say
Read
anything.
It. What does it
Okay,
say?
Sam, you read it.
What does it say?
What?
It says the girl at the end of the table, not this side, right? That side? Good. At the end of the table is insane. Be
See?
safe.
Who wrote that?
I'm going.
And now she's leaving.
I'm out of here.
Bye, Tori. We love you.
Hey, the waiter was mean. Break up with that guy.
Coming up on DBL, a story you may have missed when we aired it during the summer games. A college student tells us all about what it's like living in the Tower of London. Can you imagine?
Wow.
How did she score a spot in a castle?
These images and videos have surfaced recently. They claim to show scenes from the Taliban's rush to seize power in Afghanistan, but not all of them are connected to current events. So let's walk through what's real and what's not. Our sources include InVid, a video forensics tool, RevEye, a reverse image search tool, Google Maps, the United States Air Force, and Pacific Air Forces. This video was shared across Facebook more than 60,000 times. The post claims it was taken in Kabul, the capital of Afghanistan, and shows the Taliban taking over the presidential palace. But our sources show that is false. Using InVid, Verify isolated frames and was able to confirm the footage was actually taken in the Syrian city of Idlib. We know that because the same footage can be seen at 1 minute and 15 seconds into this YouTube video. And that footage was taken in 2015 amid unrest in Syria. So we can verify this as false. The video was not taken in Kabul. Next up, there's a lot of confusion about these two photos, both posted to Twitter. Both photos claim to show people being airlifted from a Kabul airport, but our sources say that's not true. So let's clear this up. On Sunday, during the rush to evacuate people from Afghanistan, a U.S. military cargo plane did transport around 640 Afghan citizens to Qatar. That's what you see in this photo on the right, taken by U.S. Air Force. But Verify used RevEye and found the photo on the left isn't from Kabul. We tracked that picture back to Pacific Air Force's website. PACAF is a U.S. Air Force Major Command Center headquartered in Hawaii. The site confirms this picture was actually taken in the Philippines on November 17, 2013, and shows people being evacuated to Manila following Super Typhoon Haiyan. So we can verify. The photo on the right is from Kabul, but the photo on the left is not. With your Verify, I'm Ariane Till.
Welcome back to DBL. In some ways, 21-year-old Megan Clausen is living the life of a medieval princess. She and her dad live inside the historic Tower of London. You may have missed this story when it aired during the Summer Games, so here is an encore look at Megan's life in a castle. Megan Clausen is bringing some unusual British history to life. She's been living in the Tower of London for a year with her dad, who is a beef eater or tower guard. The 13th century fortress was once a castle, a prison, and is now home to the famous crown jewels. It's also notorious for the beheading of Anne Boleyn, King Henry VIII's second wife. But Megan likes to focus on some of the lesser known facts of the tower's history.
The tale that I am about to tell is considered one of the goriest in the history of the Tower of London.
Her videos on TikTok have earned her 30,000 followers who love seeing what her life living in a tourist attraction is really like.
It's a real privilege to live inside the Tower of London until you realise that you're also part of the attraction and you have a lovely audience for most of the day.
Megan, welcome to DBL. So this is fascinating. My husband and I visited the Tower of London. It was one of our most memorable experiences. I can't believe that you live there. So how much of the tower's history did you know before you actually moved in with your dad, who's a guard there?
I thought when he said, oh, I'll be living in the Tower of London, I thought he meant he was going to be living in Tower Bridge. Really had no clue what I was letting myself in for, really.
The tower is heavily guarded, and that's kind of a question I have. So, like, what restrictions are there for you? Like, what can and can you not do?
There's always a beefeater on guard, so if you want to leave after a certain time, you have to sign out and things like that. And to be let in, again, you need to have told somebody beforehand, so everybody knows where you are at what time and what you're wearing and everything. So
no
it's
sneaking out.
I was going to say, so let's keep it 100. That's what we do on this show. How does this affect your dating life? Because I know it's got to be hard to tell people, like, hey, you need to sign in with this guard.
You date a beefeater.
That's right.
I am actually going out with the Queen's Guard, so I feel like the most British person in the world. So my dad is a beefeater, I live in the Tower of London, and my boyfriend is a Queen's Guard.
Wow, this doesn't even sound real.
I know.
So the tower was a prison at one point and the site of a few beheadings.
Yep.
So speaking of not real, is it haunted, and have you ever experienced a run-in with a tower ghost?
It does get a little bit hard when I'm here home alone, and it was about 3 o'clock in the morning, had a couple of drinks, and I was about to go to bed, and my TV flashed on kind of the old school static that you see in the horror films, with like a silhouette in front of it. So it's like it had just kind of head and shoulders, and then as quick as it flashed on, it flashed back off again, and I was like, okay, this is where I switch my phone off, roll over, and go to sleep. It was
I would have ran out of there. Even if like the beefeater had to catch up with me, at least like a human was catching up with me. I could not imagine.
Well, she knows the rule though. Like, if you go to sleep, ghosts can't get you.
Now, I had no idea that there was also an exclusive pub in the tower. I'm so mad I didn't get to visit it. Apparently, many celebrities go there. Leonardo DiCaprio has had a pint there. Is that true? Have you ever spotted stars?
Yeah, when you're famous, you know about it.
Yeah, wow. Have you ever heard about this? And maybe can I use you as a contact next time I'm there?
Well, yeah, even the celebrities have to know a beefeater personally to be able to be invited in. So even Leo had to have a beefeater invite him in. I've never met a celebrity in the bar myself, but my dad does the whole typical dad thing where he's so unaffected by fame and celebrities that he'll just come in after having 1 or 2 pints down there, and he'll be chatting away to me about typical dad things I'm like, okay, fair enough. get to the point. And then about 20 minutes later, he'll go, oh yeah, Tom Hardy was in the tower while I was down in the pub. And I was like, why didn't you ring me up? Just so yeah, I haven't met any myself. But...
Your dad hogs them all.
And she totally dismissed your invitation.
I know. You didn't say anything about me using you as a contact to get into the secret pub.
That was on purpose.
She laughed it off again.
Feel free if you're not
You're not getting it.
Megan, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining us here on DBL. You can follow all of Megan's adventures on TikTok at Megan AMBXR and learn a thing or two about British history. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
The Verify team is here to make sure that you're only getting the facts when it comes to the recent events in Afghanistan. Take posts like this. The U.S. funded, trained, and armed Taliban to fight the Soviets, wrote one person. So let's verify. Did the U.S. government directly fund the Taliban? Here are our sources. Benjamin Hopkins, a professor of history at the George Washington University. Charles Dunbar, a retired ambassador who worked in Afghanistan in the 80s for the State Department. Mike Lyons, a military analyst. And this report from the Congressional Research Service.
There are linkages, but it's not a direct line.
According to Hopkins, in December of 1979, the Soviet Union sent troops to Afghanistan to protect a communist government. Those troops remained in the country for a decade. Hopkins says that in response, the CIA began sending money through the Pakistani government to the Mujahideen, a group of Islamic militants that were fighting the Soviets. It was deemed Operation Cyclone.
That Operation Cyclone started out very small until finally to the point where it was literally billions and billions of dollars.
This was confirmed by a Congressional Research Service report stating that a total of about $3 billion was given to the Mujahideen from 1980 to 1989, according to the State Department. So how does the Taliban play into all this? Well, according to our experts, the group first began to form in 1994, so money never went directly to the Taliban.
There is a story of Americans arming an anti-Soviet insurgency, some of whom then go on to become part of what will be the Taliban.
Some U.S. funds went to supporting the Mujahideen, who had generally the same point of view as the Taliban.
But any sort of direct linkage, U.S. arming the Mujahideen in the 1980s supports the Taliban in the 2000s, is incorrect.
So we can verify that false. The U.S. government never directly funded the Taliban, but they did support the Mujahideen fighters in the 1980s. With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozlov.
Welcome back to DBL. We love sharing your comments. What do we have, Tori?
All right. Well, one person spoke to Jeff. This is Shelley. Jeff. Shelley
to Jeff.
Jeff said people listen to all leaders, and I don't think that's true because I don't think a lot of people will listen to their political leaders. What do you think about that?
I think she needs to be quiet and listen more to me.
And then,
hey, but thanks for watching.
We're going to just move on to the next comment. Joe says that guy passing the note is odd to me. I think he should mind his own business. I don't know. I always like a little help. But I'm a Yenta. If you don't know what that means in Yiddish, it's like, let me find you someone. Let me help you out.
I would have
stranger?
appreciated it. Yeah. I would have appreciated it. But I would think that if she had such a stark point of view on the baby, given that it was really homophobic.
Stop saying his name like that. You're saying that like a mom.
Da baby.
I know, but
I'm a mom of two.
I know.
How am I supposed to say it?
Say it cool.
Well, it's not. You're saying da baby. It's the baby.
The baby.
Just say it. You don't have to prepare for it 5 minutes before time.
I can't handle it. If you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show online.
Hip hop.
Stop it. I like hip hop. Stop. Watch on YouTube, dailyblastlive.com, or on our DBL mobile app. But if you're sticking around, here is what's coming up. Paris Hilton's huge wedding plans featuring a 3-day event with 10 outfit changes. Does this make her a bridezilla? And Carrie Underwood takes heat for an anti-mask tweet she liked. Can she still be, or can you rather, still be a fan if your political views do not align?
Flummoxed, confused, perplexed. There's a saying for what we're feeling. It's all Greek to me. But when it comes to variants, Greek needn't bewilder. Why? Because we no longer have to call this variant B.1.1.7 or this one B.1.617.2. We can just call this Alpha and this one Delta. Yep, just like in the Greek alphabet. Alpha, Beta, Gamma, Delta. Each is what the CDC calls a variant of concern. Alpha first showed up in the United Kingdom, Beta in South Africa, Gamma in Brazil, and Delta in India. Let's talk that one. Why? Because we know it's very contagious. Consider what's known as an R0, or average number of unprotected people a virus typically infects. Seasonal influenza, remember that? The CDC says it generally has an R0 of 1. Basically, every person who gets it will typically infect one other person. The original version of SARS-CoV-2, aka the virus that causes COVID-19, had an R0 of 1.5 to 3, according to the CDC. Infectious, yes, as infectious as, let's say, the swine flu. But as SARS-CoV-2 infected millions, it evolved, mutated. Some mutations were inconsequential, some were not. Case in point, the mutations that led to the Delta variant. Smallpox is very contagious. It has an R0 of around 5. The Delta variant of SARS-CoV-2, anywhere between 5 and 9. That's almost in chickenpox territory. And remember, COVID is more deadly than that. Then there's measles, one of the most contagious viruses on the planet. It has an R0 of around 12. Good thing is, we rarely have measles outbreaks in the U.S. Why? You know why. Back to Delta. Maybe this still is, as we say, all Greek to you. But as you consider what it means to you, don't forget just how contagious Delta really is. Honestly, it's nothing to sneeze at.
Is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
Welcome to DBL. Let's get started. Okay, so the social media mob is coming for Carrie Underwood. The singer recently liked a Twitter video posted by conservative commentator Matt Walsh. In the post, he says he's against masks in schools. Now, some of Carrie's own fans are coming for her. One fan says, so Carrie Underwood is an anti-masker. Jesus, take the wheel indeed. Another fan said, Carrie Underwood is an anti-masker. She's canceled in my book. So here's the question, what we need to talk about. Is Carrie going to be canceled? And can you remain a fan when someone says something that is against your beliefs? What would you do? What do you think, Tori?
With masks, for me, and this is personal, when you disagree about masks and there's scientific evidence that proves that they are safe, we are no longer disagreeing with each other. You are now rejecting data. I have really no interest in following up a conversation with you. Sorry, I really don't.
What about playing their song in your car?
Now,
separating the art from the artist.
Exactly. Now, Pablo Picasso, who I love and did a huge story, was a womanizer and put cigarettes out on women. He was a jerk. But people love Picasso. So it's always like, do we care about the art or the artist? This will make me think differently of Carrie Underwood. Yes.
Let's stay on Carrie Underwood, because we could go down a bunch of different avenues on this one. Yesterday, we were talking about letting people express their beliefs, whether it be politically or whatever. And you said, yes, I'm all for that.
Of course.
But I said, no, you cannot express your beliefs, because if you don't agree with the mob, in this case, like we said at the top.
The mob, by the way, are scientists and doctors here.
Okay, but you don't know her beliefs. You're assuming that she's a Trumper and that because she's country.
I'm assuming she says she doesn't like masks.
She liked a tweet. She did not put anything out in her own words. She liked a tweet. I said at the beginning of the show, I don't think a 2-year-old needs to wear a mask regarding my own kids. I don't think he's going to keep it on. I don't think it's going to be effective. She liked the tweet.
No offense to you, but you don't have the platform of Carrie Underwood. She has a much bigger platform.
But you don't know what she's saying. She
says a lot by liking that tweet. That says a lot,
But
Jeff.
what about your statement yesterday when you said you're allowed to say whatever you want? You're for the Constitution about freedom of speech.
She can say whatever she wants, and she has consequences that I might not like her anymore. Both can be true.
But you're proving my point. You're canceling people based on their opinion without having a conversation, and you just said right now, I will not have a conversation about it.
Absolutely. Canceling is different, and I absolutely think what you're not hearing me say is I think she can say whatever she wants, but I also get the right and the freedom of speech to dislike what she said, and therefore there's consequences.
Canceling?
I didn't say canceling. I said I'm going to think differently of Carrie Underwood. Now, here's a big deal. She didn't just say something or like something. She liked an anti-mask at the height of a pandemic when it's killing people. That's a big, big mark for me, and that's going to be a big difference for us. And yeah, I am going to be.
And listen, I'm for the vaccine. I'm vaccinated. I just want to put it out there.
That was like anti-mask.
I'm for people getting their opinions across. Not whatever it may be. In this case, it's masks. I want to hear from the other side. I want to know, why don't you like masks? Why aren't you vaccinated? Why aren't you for the Black Lives Matter protests? I don't want to cancel those people. I want to hear them out and hear why they feel that way. You, in your own words, just said, I will not have a conversation with you. I am against that fully.
Okay.
Final thought, Tori, and then
Final thought, I'm sorry, very quickly, is that there's a difference between Black Lives Matter and theories and science. And when you disagree with science, you're rejecting data. And for me, that's the line for me. That's the line.
Good conversation, you two. That was a conversation.
Too hard about that knuckle bump, though. You had it right, and then you like looked at it.
I went too hard.
No. It was good, though.
You're not just shake it off. Shake it off.
You did go. That was all you. I was waiting for it.
And I was like, hey, you.
It was a little aggressive. It was a little aggressive.
All right, so it's a feud that just won't die. Not these two. It looks like Cattrall is throwing shade at her former Sex and the City co-star. So yesterday, the actress shared a post where she's cradling her co-star, a dog named Pixel, from her TV show Sensitive Skin. In the caption, she wrote, "When your co-star is a real dog." Some say Kim's post could be in retaliation for a recent post by Sarah Jessica Parker. Over the weekend, SJP posted a series of Sex and the City photos with her new cast member, Nicole Ari Parker. So there's been rumors of tension between Kim and SJP for years now, and those rumors were cemented earlier this summer when it was announced that Kim is not going to be part of the upcoming Sex and the City reboot. Are people digging too into this, Al?
No.
You think that was straight up shade?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I think she was calling her a name that we will never mention on daytime television. And I look at the situation and I'm like, you have to do one of two things. Either go on Red Table Talk, you hash it out with the ladies, uncensored, get everything out in the open, or you put this down, because we're coming up on 20, 25 years of this beef, and no matter what happens, time is supposed to heal those wounds. So either they can be healed, so let's make something that would be visually interesting to go see people trying to come back together, or drop it. But we can't have this like every year and a half you say something that kind of
What if we're reading into it, though? What if their beef, they were able, I mean, we all have people in our lives that we were able to say, okay, you served a purpose in my life at one period, right? We were both like-minded at that time. We were both really good friends. And then all of a sudden, we've evolved and we're no longer friends, or there's boundaries. But why did we have to assume that we're digging up beef between the two of them?
Me and Al were talking about this before the show. I thought maybe, let bygones be bygones. I thought maybe she was just posting something about her own show. Al convinced me otherwise.
Really?
Yeah. I feel like you wouldn't go so specific with your dog
the day after,
with everything going on with Sex and the City.
But the post just happened, and then you respond so specifically with that post. Yeah. It feels a little coincidental.
That's a little sub-tweety.
I feel like it. I hate to be that person, but I feel like it too.
No, that's Al stirring the pot, let me tell you.
Al's very convincing.
She didn't do their famous reunion movie. They don't like each other.
They don't. Doesn't mean that every single post is a jab at one another.
If you're wearing a three-piece suit, you carry a lot more weight.
Exactly.
I believe anything else.
Do you want your loan here at Chase or not?
Al needs a monocle. Hello.
Okay, so do you guys think that Paris Hilton is going to be a bridezilla? That's what some people are saying after she went on Jimmy Fallon to talk about her upcoming wedding. So here's a quick look.
Are you in the planning stages now? Yes, we were planning everything. It's very stressful.
It's a lot of stuff. Have you picked out a dress?
Yes, that's basically the only thing that I've done.
Yeah. It's a lot of stuff, though.
It's a lot. But I'm not a bridezilla at all.
No, I didn't think you would be, though. I think that you would have this under control.
Paris says her wedding will be a 3-day event with about 10 outfit changes. She also is going to be documenting the wedding for her show on Peacock, saying she's happy to show her fans her fairy tale wedding. Tori, is this Bridezilla-esque or no?
Can I be honest about Paris Hilton? I really like her, but she's not funny. She doesn't do anything for me. She's like kind of like
So how much do you really like her?
Carson Daly to me. There's a little cardboard, vanilla. I need a little something else.
What? She's a personality.
Name 3 things she kind of gives.
She's a personality.
How?
She is
She
the
doesn't
height
have
of
one.
glamour. She's from a super rich family, and she wants to show off with a 3-day wedding.
Are you guys really stuck on the Paris Hilton from the 90s? What about the Paris Hilton in the last year, where we
Right,
saw
with the
become an
transparency.
advocate, an activist, more TV shows that she's completely sold on her own?
Don't throw you guys into Tori's anti-Paris
I'm not
rhetoric.
anti-Paris, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I find her really, I love her advocacy. I've just always found her a bit like, huh. I'm just never like.
You don't think that there's just attractive people that are rich that a lot of people stare at, look at their life, wish they were theirs?
I feel like it's boring.
It's Instagram.
But you're saying it's boring. Her job is to be decadent. That's what she does. We've had people on ours. Little Richard was like that. Liberace. Some people do everything extra. We can't all have like a wedding at a VFW hall. Somebody got to shake it up. Good for her.
I agree. If you've seen her cooking show, have you seen it? She puts glitter in everything.
That's insane.
Glitter?
Edible glitter in everything.
Oh, well, don't say edible glitter like you know. What?
You said that some people are supposed to be extra.
Yes. Listen, let's get back to the Bridezilla thing. How could you even say in the same sentence that you're having a 3-day wedding and that you're not a Bridezilla?
You can be.
No, I
In
wouldn't
Hindu
marry
culture, they do 3-day weddings.
No.
It doesn't mean that you're a Bridezilla.
No. If my wife wanted a 3-day wedding, I would not get married. I'm not even joking. I would say, are you out of your mind? 3 days of marriage?
It is
no.
Culturally, though.
I'm not going to a 3-day wedding. I'm not even going to be part of that. I'm out.
Let's be honest, though. 3 days, when you really think about it.
Exhausting.
Well, of course, but most weddings nowadays, you have like that dinner before.
Yeah, the
rehearsal
wedding and
dinner.
the brunch.
Then you have the wedding, and then the day after, you have the brunch. So what's different about it?
Nightmare.
No.
That's what people do.
Yeah, they sure do have brunch, and you have to sort of pay for that brunch too
I don't
now.
like
Now it's become
brunch
part of the wedding. You're absolutely right.
I don't want to go to your brunch so I can watch you drink in the morning. I don't care. Like, just drink in the morning like a real alcoholic. Stop acting like this is about breakfast.
You guys think about brunch and drinking.
You're not a big fan of the brunch.
No.
I know it's bottomless mimosas. It's too much.
Yeah, no one ever talks about the eggs.
Now it's
That's
too much?
interesting.
I think bottomless mimosas is too much. When you're a parent,
We're
how
off
are you-
the wedding thing?
Yeah, I'm off the wedding thing.
Oh, okay.
I'm back on a bottomless mimosas. How are you supposed to
I think the
parent when
Bloody
you're tired?
Marys is the biggest ripoff because no one can have that much tomato juice. You can only have 2.
Somebody laughed in the booth.
Yeah. I feel like Tori should weigh in on
wants
this.
I enjoy
belly
it.
full of tomato juice?
I'm fine with it. I like
Too
it.
acidic.
Yeah.
No one's fine with tomato juice.
Okay, V8 hater.
I like a good V8.
More than 2?
Okay, coming up on
No.
DBL.
Okay.
Coming up on DBL. An all-new true crime chronicles a woman is convinced police got the wrong man in her mother's murder. How she's still searching for answers 30 years later.
Closed captioning provided by
Hi, DBL Nation. Kelly Schubert here with Tori. Tori, you got a comment?
Al called her substitute art teacher, by the way, which was a great call for this look. Someone wrote to us and said, Jeff and Tori together are good TV, loud, but very good TV.
There we go.
I just wanted to clarify, too. I find asking people to follow up on, like, Black Lives Matter, religion, philosophy, theories is super different than, again, the mask problem. To me, that's very black and white. It's very scientific. The Dr. Coley has come on and told me it is very effective, one of the most effective ways. To me, I can't further have a conversation with you if you're rejecting that data. We don't have a lot to talk
What if
about.
they don't know the data like you do? What if you have an opportunity?
Then don't reject it if you don't know enough about it.
But
But you
how
have
do you
to
know
have that
that by
conversation.
liking
That's
a
what the-
tweet, though?
But Carrie Underwood, by liking that, endorses it. And she has such a big platform that everyone will follow that like. That's an enormous following. Country music fans, people in the South, people in rural areas.
Otherwise?
The issue to me is if you're not convinced by a doctor, I'm not going to convince you. You're not interested in science. I don't have anything to say to you.
But do you guys see this as a bigger problem of like we know too much about everything?
Yeah,
I think in the 80s and 90s, like I don't know who Lionel Richie voted for president. You could just enjoy their music. But now everybody. That's the first time I've said his name.
No, you've said it 3 times now.
When?
He said
Liberace. Stories.
No, he said Lionel Richie before. Little Rich and Rick James.
No, you didn't.
No, he didn't. Little Richard.
I remember.
Oh, you said Little Richard.
Yeah.
You said 3 times.
3 times.
I love Lionel Richie. I'm sorry.
So it was 0.
Any black man from the 80s should just hear Lionel Richie. Lionel Richie.
Yeah. Have you guys seen that?
Stevie Wonder. You mean Lionel Richie? Stevie Wonder?
Hello, is it tea you're looking for? Have you seen that? Yes.
Shout out to Little Richard.
Have you seen that cup? It says, "Hello, is it tea you're looking for?" And it's got Lionel Richie on it as a tea mug. Did I quiet the set?
Dude, we had a good thing going on.
DBL Nation, let us know. Can you separate the art from the artist? Bye.
Welcome back to DBL. Who really killed Effie Antazari? It's been more than 30 years since she was murdered, and her daughter is on a quest to find out once and for all who would want to kill her mother. That's in today's True Crime Chronicles.
She had a life, and someone took that away.
Pune Gray will never forget May 1st, 1989. Her life would forever be altered in ways she would never have imagined.
There has not been one day that's gone by since my mom's murder that I haven't thought about her and this case.
Pune's mother, Effie Antazari, left for work like she had done so many mornings before. It was just before 6 a.m. She was approached by someone in the parking lot and shot in the head at point-blank range. A neighbor reported seeing a yellow car speed out of the parking lot shortly after Effie's murder. No other witnesses reported anything to the authorities.
This was a premeditated, highly calculating homicide.
A man was arrested and charged with the murder of Effie. That man just happened to be Mike Antazari, Effie's husband and Pune's father. Mike and Effie were going through a divorce. Mike had no alibi, and worse yet, a gun, the same type of gun that killed Effie, was found in Mike's car. A jury found him guilty of the murder of his wife. He ended up serving 16 years of a 25-year sentence behind bars until his death in 2019. Mike had always maintained his innocence.
It was not a fact-based trial. It was just a lot of smoke and mirrors.
Pune hired a team of lawyers, private investigators, forensic examiners in an attempt to find the real killer or killers. She will never stop fighting for justice and exonerating her father. Pune wants to know once and for all who killed Effie Antazari. They point to a lack of physical evidence against Mike Antazari. Mike didn't drive a yellow car like the one seen speeding away from the scene. And investigators never found evidence of Effie's blood on Mike's clothing or in the barrel of his gun. Pune believes one of the biggest pieces of evidence that could alter this case is DNA. Samples found on Effie's clothes years after her murder, thanks to DNA advancements.
There was a mixture. There were multiple individuals' DNA on the sweater and the DNA that was collected. The predominant DNA that we found is from the person who we believe is the shooter.
Will this new DNA evidence be the smoking gun of this case 32 years later? Will Pune be able to overturn her father's conviction and keep the promise she made to her mother? Will there ever be closure?
I've never had a doubt that I'm going to get the person that killed my mom.
A daughter's love for her mother knows no bounds. This story is truly heartbreaking. Earlier, Al and I spoke with the podcast host for the latest on this case. Take a look. And we are here with the Yellow Car podcast host, Ashley Korslund. Ashley, by the way, is also an award-winning journalist and longtime KGW anchor. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to DBL.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to be here to talk about the case.
Why did you think that this was a good topic, that this case specifically would be a good fit for your podcast?
Well, the case itself is compelling, but honestly, I would say it was Pune, the couple's daughter, at the center of this case. We are talking about someone who spent 32 years of her own life working on her mom's murder investigation, despite the fact that her dad went to prison. And the fact that she has spent more than $1 million, close to $2 million at this point, on a team of lawyers and investigators, to me was really compelling. And I thought, you know, there must be something else here if she hasn't been able to let this go 3 decades later.
Wow. Right. Well, speaking about 3 decades later, if this same case happened today, what do you think would happen?
I would think at the very least, the investigation perhaps would have been done differently when you think about advancements in DNA technology that we have today that we didn't have. Back in 1989, DNA was in its infancy. Today, there would also be a lot of things done differently, I believe, with ballistics and how they examine and compare an evidence bullet to a gun. Now, as for the verdict and the outcome, it's hard to say what the evidence would have shown and whether a jury still would have convicted Mike.
Speaking of Mike Antazari, why was he found guilty?
I believe came down to the ballistics portion. When you have a state ballistics expert saying this bullet was fired from this gun, Mike's gun, to me, that's what really sealed the deal for the jury.
Pune found some strange occurrences leading up to her mother's death. You know, maybe that's why she hasn't been able to let this go. So can you tell our audience, what were they?
Yeah, so when Effie and Mike were separated, Effie had lived in her own apartment complex at the time of her death, and neighbors had eventually reported to police that there were some really strange occurrences, fights in her apartment at odd hours of the night, unknown men who were there. Effie seemed upset. The most striking thing was perhaps the medical examiner, when they did the autopsy, found bruising all over Effie's body, and the bruising had been there for some time, so that meant it was unrelated to the murder. Things that you couldn't really explain, and Mike was never tied to any of that activity. The daughter, Pune, goes, look, my mom was being threatened. Somebody wanted to silence her. She knew something, and people were hurting her. And that's the thread line throughout this series that really kept her going, is that there were just too many strange things happening to just explain away that my dad killed my mom.
Wow, Ashley, I just pray that your podcast, her and her 3 decades worth of research, somehow provides answers for her. How likely is it that prosecutors will reopen this case?
The sheriff's office did confirm to me they do have a detective actively working this case. So that to me was a little peek behind the curtain on, okay, they're looking into this. It's not like they're just brushing it off. I think at this point, they're not able to speak publicly about what they have discovered and what they're going to do moving forward.
Wow. Unbelievable. I really do hope that they reopen the case, just personally. Ashley, thank you so much for being on DBL's True Crime Chronicles and for bringing this case to light. You can check out DBL Nation, The Yellow Car, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever else you get your podcasts. Make sure that you listen. And thank you again, Ashley. We'll be right back.
Thanks, you guys, for having me. Appreciate it.
Thursday on DBL, Bravo star Lisa Vanderpump will be here live. How does she feel about becoming a grandma? That's Thursday on DBL.
DBL is your daytime destination.
I get very excited.
I was excited with you.
Okay, thank you.
We are fired up.
I am feeling very disagreeable.
Educate yourself. Though I got to push back because sometimes.
No, I won't accept that.
Check that. And having fun.
You have 2 straws and a strawberry shake.
I felt it in my heart and in my soul.
What's Jeff thinking?
I don't want to get canceled.
DBL's all new every day. Welcome back to DBL. Did you know that your vaccine status could affect your income? So we're going to chat about it in today's Bang for Your Buck, presented by The Hartford. To cover health costs, more and more companies are considering charging higher insurance premiums for their unvaccinated staff. This means your employer could pocket an extra $50 per paycheck if you're unvaccinated. That's an extra $1,300 each year. So this is one of the many reasons why you should talk to your doctor about getting vaccinated against COVID-19. And for quality and affordable insurance, the Buck's got your back. The Hartford will be happy to provide you solutions. Call the Hartford at 1-800-684-6085 or visit thehartford.com to learn more. Does that surprise you, Al?
You've got to do something to make people do things that they might not want to do. You have to incentivize them. Just like a parking ticket incentivizes you not to park on the street on Tuesdays, maybe this is what you need. Some people, $1,000 a year is a lot.
I think it's a bottom line, too. They don't want to have to be responsible for all of your hospital bills, God forbid, if you contracted COVID,
That's right?
Amen. All right, we'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
The Verify team is here to make sure that you're only getting the facts when it comes to the recent events in Afghanistan. Take posts like this. The U.S. funded, trained, and armed Taliban to fight the Soviets, wrote one person. So let's verify. Did the U.S. government directly fund the Taliban? Here are our sources. Benjamin Hopkins, a professor of history at the George Washington University. Charles Dunbar, a retired ambassador who worked in Afghanistan in the 80s for the State Department. Mike Lyons, a military analyst. And this report from the Congressional Research Service.
There are linkages, but it's not a direct line.
According to Hopkins, in December of 1979, the Soviet Union sent troops to Afghanistan to protect a communist government. Those troops remained in the country for a decade. Hopkins says that in response, the CIA began sending money through the Pakistani government to the Mujahideen, a group of Islamic militants that were fighting the Soviets. It was deemed Operation Cyclone.
That Operation Cyclone started out very small until finally to the point where it was literally billions and billions of dollars.
This was confirmed by a Congressional Research Service report stating that a total of about $3 billion was given to the Mujahideen from 1980 to 1989, according to the State Department. So how does the Taliban play into all this? Well, according to our experts, the group first began to form in 1994, so money never went directly to the Taliban.
There is a story of Americans arming an anti-Soviet insurgency, some of whom then go on to become part of what will be the Taliban.
Some U.S. funds went to supporting the Mujahideen, who had generally the same point of view as the Taliban.
But any sort of direct linkage, U.S. arming the Mujahideen in the 1980s supports the Taliban in the 2000s, is incorrect.
So we can verify that false. The U.S. government never directly funded the Taliban, but they did support the Mujahideen fighters in the 1980s. With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozlov.
Tomorrow on DBL, Bravo star Lisa Vanderpump will be here live. How does she feel about becoming a grandma? That's tomorrow on DBL.
Welcome back clarifying.
to DBL. We love sharing your comments. Tori, what do we got?
All right, first I want to call out Mickey because I didn't call her out earlier. I'm so sorry. And Michelle wrote, these hosts crack me up with their bickering. I'm old. I don't do Twitter or Insta, but I enjoy the show. I take my lunch hour at 2 o'clock every day to watch them in Georgia. Keep up the great show.
Shout out to Georgia.
I know. I love a lot of people take their lunch hour with us.
Nice.
Huh?
Yes, we can annoy them in the break room. A lot of people also watch us at the gym, which is good. Yes.
Nail salons too.
We can see. You got I like your nails.
Thank
They're very
you.
Halloween-y.
Is that free?
DBL's new every day tomorrow. What did he say?